Hey everybody, get ready for the action-packed story of the game world guardian. Get ready for the defender of good and despiser of evil, me, Goemon. Get on with it. Yeah, indeed, we are going to get on with it with Mystical Ninja starring Goemon for Nintendo 64. Good evening, everybody. It is SuperOldGameSaturday on Friday. And if that intro was not enough of an indication, we're talking about the Legend of the Mystical Ninja anime as far as our finale of this game, which has been 2 years in the making. Started this 2 years ago. I restarted it last month. Tonight we are going to finish it to 100% to the point where, off-screen, before we started tonight, I climbed up all the way to the top of the Festival Temple Cows. Remember that from last month? Yeah, part 1, by the way, or part 1 again. Well, actually, part 1 and part 1 2 are going to be below when I edit this in a couple days. But I hope you're all doing well. I'm Captain D-Trag. I climbed up all the way here because we're getting all the Silver Fortune Dolls. There's also an 100% completion reward I was not aware of in all the years I've been playing this game until I was looking into this, saying that, okay, we're going to go 100% on this. You get all the silver and gold fortune dolls, you're going to get it, and as we go along tonight, we're going to be doing that, getting the last of the miracle items, and sticking it to Spring Breeze Dancing and Kitty Lily. Took Amitsu and maybe some other people away from us, but we'll make that happen tonight. Let's get going with Showtime on the Silver Fortune Doll. That is one of them. Remember, missed last time, you collect the Silver Fortune Dolls. They are the heart containers or heart pieces from Zelda. But for those, you get an extension to your strength gauge. Also, unlike Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or many other games on N64, fine, if I hadn't hit the water, you'd seen that. No fall damage, so I can jump all the way there. I jumped all the way, or climbed all the way to the top before we did this, so we'd be able to be all set. So that's where we're going to start tonight. Now, as I get shot in the face by a tank, you have to die with my more powerful weapons, my level 2 weapons we got last time. Yeah, we have one last miracle item we got to get. But before we do that, I'm going to be going through here and getting all of the Silver Fortune Dolls I missed, of which I realized I was actually able to get all of them last time. I actually just missed a couple, and we're going to see that as we go along. But alright. Looking forward to getting back to this game, and... wait, can I... Oh, wait, no, I can get back there. Actually, honestly, I never really, went to the top of this and then left before. Because, one other thing, I think I mentioned, last month when we came in here, that, hey, there's that underwater area, there's something underneath that. I was wrong, there's not. You go over there, it says the door is locked. You can't go in there anymore because we took care of Sharon Robot last time. But yeah, I have to climb the roof to get out of here because I gotta go find the other ones here. I have them written down, so I know I'm going. And I'll take a look at the map, hit the start button as always, and hit the Z button to look at it. We found the one in the south area, which is at the end. That was the big climb, so that's why I did that first. Next, we have to go to the north side, which is... Wait, no, we came from the north side, so this is the south side. So, in south side, I believe there's one every place. Let's see here. Okay, so... West side, go in the door on the left, and jump over for the roofs. Actually, we have to go where the frozen kunais of Sasuke's were when we got them last month here. Just keep walking along. That's what we're going to be doing tonight, and as I said, we'll also... Wait, no, it's still not here. Okay, that's my south area. Actually, no, there is one in here, so we're going to go in here. I do have them written down. We're going to be doing this, and then we'll go to endgame, because we'll be finishing this game tonight after 2 years in the making. Because as I mentioned, if you had not seen the other parts, I started this game 2 years ago as showing off to Protorova what this was, because he'd never heard of it. And I get the sense some people had not heard of this, although last time we played this, people knew what it was, or were happy to see it, or curious about it, if nothing else. But, yeah, it was definitely a niche one for Nintendo 64, so... kind of came and went a little, but it did have enough of a cult following that got another game on this system, Goemon's Great Adventure, as well as, well, it got noticed as far as some other stuff from Konami who made this. And, yeah, hopefully we can get a re-release of this, although, yeah, the question about how a re-release is going to go is a question with some of the re-releases we had recently. Alright, but yeah, and also dealing with the camera, which is kind of a bit of a noise. Oh, that's where I'm going backwards, actually, or up on the other side, which I actually never did with came to this game before. But alright, next Silver Fortune Doll is... Actually, this is one of the ones, not the one I was necessarily going for next. What you gotta do is you gotta climb up the ladder, go in the door, and start doing platforming, or walk along the side of the meshing here in order to find the next one. Alrighty. Yeah, be careful with that jump, I'm gonna wait. As we're hearing this insanely jazzy music. It is wonderful stuff. Okay. Make the jump there, and there is the next one over there. Alright, 2 more, we'll get a decrease of our strength gauge. We're gonna get one just from this one place already. So let's see. Hang on here. Oh, right. Yeah, one I thought I couldn't get last time because I thought I need an upgrade of Sasuke's, who we're going to see a little later. In fact, you know what? Because you can switch between any character and C down button. Wait, I passed by Sasuke. Yeah, they put Sasuke before Yai for some reason, even though he's the last character you get. But there is Sasuke, our mechanical ninja, which we're going to go into a bit because he was the creation of the Wise Man, who his house was blown up last time. As far as the anime was concerned, was known as Monoshiri, as Alec was indicating for the last part, who was actually on the anime is a bit of a pervert. In this game, he was, but they made a change. You can see tonight as far as what it was for the US version, at least. Get yourself going. Actually, to get back, there is Sasuke that way, but I do need Goemon because I do need the chain pipe in order to hook onto the blocks right there. Boom. I love that clink when you hit it. It is so nice. Okay, so next we need to go, actually, yeah, we go to the next, go back to previous areas. Yeah, the thing about the Festival Temple Castle, yeah, that's right. I keep thinking like it's temple, but temples are Zelda, these places are castles, but it's a temple and castle. There's a lot to keep track of when we were going through here last time, to the point where I'm amazed I did it as smoothly as I did last time, but either way, that's fine. It seems like I'm gonna have more time going through getting the Silver Fortune dolls, but yeah. For this one, here's what I thought. There's a Silver Fortune doll over there. I thought I couldn't make the jump. I needed the upgrade of Sasuke's. If you jump this very specifically, and I did it on my test play, with Sasuke actually, you have to hit it very specific, but if I don't hit it, yeah, come on Sasuke, jump. Because this game is very, there you go, you have to hit very specific, so I'm glad I got to show that. Yeah, you can get up here and get the Silver Fortune doll. Yeah, I mean, okay, fine. I guess I get why I didn't get it last time, because, like, yeah, I can't make that. And climbing onto the sides of buildings and things, it's always very persnickety how the game operates that way. Alright, so the last one we have to get is... Let's see, I do have it written down. Northern West Side. Oh, wait, so that should be this way. Here's also why I'm taking notes for this, just to make sure that I know I'm going, which is over here. Because you have to go to where the frozen kunais were in here, which actually is right here. Yeah, it's coming back to me. I did my test play on this actually earlier this week. I did it on Sunday. So, not that it necessarily has been a case where I've forgotten over that time, but just a case of, look, I'll take notes on the show. I think I mentioned this before, just as a bit of a reference. Just because, hey, I want to get stuff figured when it comes to that. But we're hearing the organ going on, because in this game, as I mentioned last time, you do have cases where the dungeons or the castles have dynamic music to them. Okay, so here's a weird thing, and this also goes to, I guess, how weirdly documented some of the 100% runs of this game tend to be. I mean, we mentioned this with Shadow Hearts, which we're going back to next week, again, actually, very quickly. But sometimes when you get a game like this that's kind of underrated a little bit, there's conflicting information on what you need to get somewhere. Now, a lot of the guides I read say that you need to have the Sasuke power, which, by the way, each of the characters has a power that we've gotten already. Yai has Swing as the Mermaid. Goemon has the Nada Super Saiyan transformation of Sudden Impact. Abyssamaro has Shrinking Spell. And he'll have something else that you're supposed to use to get over here, so they say, but if you make the jump specifically, you can just jump right over. So you don't need it. Well, all the guys I was reading were saying that no, you need it. And also, remember how stingy this game is with climbing on sides of platforms. They said, I want a remake of this game, or re-release of this game, we'll say that for sure. But yeah, if they do make a remake of this, Konami, please listen, because you've got a lot of good stuff you've been making, a lot of great re-releases, collections, remakes you got going on. I know Chasm22 is waiting, as am I, for the remakes of Suikoden 1 and 2. And we already had stuff like the Castlevania collections and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection. This is not a perfect game. I love this game, but it's also a game that is imperfect, I will admit that. So there's definitely things to improve, depending on how they do it, because we run into cases where when it comes to remasters or remakes of games, sometimes they screw things up. We're seeing that now, where Namco Bandai is getting the brunt of that, deservedly so, based on the Tales of Symphonia Remastered that they did, where the Switch version is, oh shit, I missed the jump. Yeah, me bad-mouthing the Tales of Symphonia Remaster and Namco Bandai for that caused me to fall. Yeah, that game is a disaster on the Switch in terms of how it's running, to the point where it's a remake of a game that was on the GameCube that ran at 60 frames per second, so follow me on this one. They did a port of it to the PlayStation 2 in Japan only. That ran at 30 frames per second. They apparently couldn't port the GameCube version over when Tales of Symphonia Chronicles came on the PlayStation 3 and went to PC, so they based off the PS2 version runs at 30. This new version is supposed to run at 30, locked that way. They said, we couldn't run this at 60. Like, I guess they lost the source code or something. As there's the last so fortune doll here, and we got an increase of our strength gauge, so we're at a nice 15 hearts. But I missed the jump, so I have to go back, unfortunately, to get over to the side. But yeah, on the Switch, yeah, it's supposed to be 30, but it usually is dropping below 15. And yeah, if you love that game, then yeah, you're probably not going to be happy about that. Not to mention that unlike the Chronicles edition the PS3 had, you don't get its sequel, Dawn of a New World, which from what I understand from fans of the franchise say is not very good anyway, but hey, it's an extra game you're not getting as far as this new version, which costs more than that version did when it was on the PS3. And then you also get cases where people saying that, hey, they like the other ones better, like Nocturne, who I get that perspective as well. For some things, although maybe the idea that, you know, the later games are better, is like, yeah, you expect that of a franchise, although Dawn of a New World certainly is not better. That's for sure. But, and when we do get to the Tales of franchise, Nocturne is going to be involved with that, because she's a big fan of the series as it is. We start with Tales of Vesperia, the definitive edition, which is one that Namco Bandai did really well, actually. So in that case, that was a case of them giving the best version as far as it. But actually, it also goes to one thing I've been kind of thinking about with that this week. As I said, this is basically going to be pretty much just kind of going into discussion stuff as we get going with plot eventually. But the thought that, and there's this great piece Nintendo Life put out, I will link to it in the link list, saying that what's going on with remasters and remakes of games, or remasters in particular, because they pointed out that one. Oh, and I almost fell down the pit. It was like, okay, that would have been cool. Them in Castlevania, for sure, speaking of the Konami thing. Oh, I was like, wait, where'd the music go? Like, no, because it went back to the other area. It went back to the chill perspective of its tracks. They were saying that, okay, fine, the Tales of Symphonia Remastered case is running badly on the system when it shouldn't. Let's be honest here. And if nothing else, it's proving my point about the Pokemon Violet glitch showcase I'm going to show off, or the broken showcase without the patch I'm going to show in about 2 months. But they're basically saying that, hey, Chrono Cross, which is a game that I know we've talked about on the show, I know Protorova loves that game, as does Chasm 22. I don't know who's called dibs on that one specific. Or maybe we can figure like a blend of the two that way. They patched that this week to make it run at 60 FPS, which it didn't last year when it came out, which was kind of a shock that after all this time they patched it. But, yeah, and Namco Bandai, they're taking the quick route, saying that, fine, they came out with a public apology today and said we're going to patch it. It was like, who knows when. But either way, that's the case. Okay, so we got everything we needed here. As I slice the, I guess these are supposed to be based on the Sujikiris from, the Mystical Ninja Goemon anime, which we'll go into a little bit. But I want to take a look as far as what we got to get here, because there are a couple areas you can go. Actually, no, we'll take the flute to fly. Yeah, because like last time, we got the flute, and when you play that with Yai, let it play the whole way. You get the help of, I think Kurita was the name of the dragon. And you can fly to any dungeon or coffee shop that you have unlocked. We want to go to Izumo's coffee shop. Because there's some in this area, or there's one in this area I'm thinking of specific. And we'll come back here for other stuff for plot, but I think we're going to do this to start, and then we'll get going. Because this is not going to be that long, necessarily. I mean, we usually do 5 hours for the long-form games, but I don't know if it's going to even be that long for this. But we'll see how it goes. As is usually the case, we kind of, if you're new to the show, welcome. A, and B, we kind of do things loosey-goosey here a little bit, with a case of a sort of plan, or enough of a plan that gives a sense that we know what we're talking about and know what we're doing. Or the theme of the show, or one of the main taglines of this is, we plan the show, I swear to God, which we do, that's true. So that's basically what I'm doing. We're playing the show, we're going to finish this game, we're going to go through everything, get everything we got, and see the 100% completion reward, which I actually have never seen. So this is going to be a first for me as well, as we're back in Hagi. We need to go to, we have to go back actually to, it was that area around that had the area that said, how do we pass this? Well, I have an answer on how to pass it. You can pull up the map with the C right button to follow it. We're in this wonderful music. God, I love the music so much. I mentioned that last time. But yeah, it's definitely not getting old, and as I mentioned last time, I don't get Nintendo 64 off of this in the sense you sometimes think with the cartridge system is a sound to itself, or it's limited by its hardware. This game, I'm pretty sure they sampled the instruments they used, and then they ran it. Okay, this is where we're going. We're going to Nagato specific, because, yeah, this is where the next Silver Fortune doll is. That I missed. I didn't know you could get it this way, but we're gonna get it now. But yeah, as I said, it definitely, I think they sequenced the instruments that way and then just arranged them, kind of like how Grant Kirkhope did with Banjo-Kazooie, so that's why it sounds so high quality. And it's one of those cases where if they can remake this, I get a sense of like a full orchestra running this, sounding maybe almost as good as this game does, you know? But sometimes it's a weird thing, because I know I've, we're gonna play Snowbird Kids eventually, both of them. But there's a PlayStation 1 version of Snowbird Kids 1 that Japan got exclusively, as you have to come over here and use the mini Beastie Power to go underneath this. But yeah, with CD audio on that game, it didn't sound that much better than it did on N64, so I think it shows in that case it was an Atlas game as far as that they got it right the first time in terms of how the music was, and even with the CD, just maybe clean it up a little, but not a massive, you know, jump. Alright, there you go, so that's it. What is it now? Yeah, it's the, it's that. So let's see, what have I not gotten? I did do these in order. Yeah, we do have to go back to Yamato eventually. Got the one in Nagato, that's that one. In fact, you know what, let's, yeah, let's, Ikuyo, or let's go, in Japanese, as, Yai is indicating. Let's go back to, let's go to the Festival Castle. Oh, no, we went there already. Let's go to the, Ghost Toys Castle. Because this is the part of the game I was thinking of starting on tonight, but then I decided, you know what, that climb to the Festival Temple Castle was too high. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to put the audience through that. I'll start up there, and then we'll make our jump down through. And also, that's the area that has the most Silver Fortune dolls of the places that we haven't gone to yet, because there is a case of a point of no return, so I don't want to go there yet. Actually, we can't go there yet, because we have a dungeon to do. One more castle. Alright, so here we're back in EO. Yeah, hearing the wonderful jazzy and, you know, kind of house music of the Ghost Toys Castle. What we want to do is go back to where the water was, which is... Oh, not there. We don't need to do that anymore. Yeah, I don't know if you have a thing on Crane Game in this, but yeah, no. We're skipping that. But behind the meshing over there was where we found the water area. You have to go down there with Yai, with the mermaid power that I have, and swim through. Alright, ooh. Now, in this case, it's gonna be no problem because of how much health we have, and also how much money. And that's the other thing I guess I'll indicate. Off-screen, I did do money grind in the part of Oedo Castle that I mentioned. You can just go in and out repeatedly to get all the money you want. Because I want to see, is there a limit of money in this game? The answer is, yeah, there is. It is 9,999 Rio, and I did not know that until I did this for the show. So, it goes to one other thing, which is, and I've always said this on this program, which is, I don't know everything about the games we're playing, but I also have my own perspective on things, and I want to learn more. Every game I play, even if it's a game I don't like, necessarily, I want to understand more about it. So in that case, I said with Mystical Ninja starring Goemon here, I said, I want to ask these questions. What happens if this happens? Let's see about some of these things. There's also, I don't think it has to do with the money, but there is a lockup I had happen when I was doing my test. I am nervous as anything. We'll get to that point. I'll indicate when we get to that, but that's not for a while. But okay. So what you do is you come here in the water. There's that cage down there. What's that all about? Well, there's still a fortune doll down there. If you're in the water, you hit the C up button, you can do the swimming with Yai and the mermaid. Yeah, if you play that with the dolphin, it's like that. Hit the A button to accelerate and hit the B button to dash, and pick that up right there. Also, she doesn't do her Yesukine, you know, indication when you pick it up, but there you go. That's we need. It's not too far in here, so it's fine just to kind of come back and get it as we just go up on the Mahjong tiles to get back. Oh yeah, also you get the beep beep when you try and use the mermaid power, because I'll tell you one thing in my case, I try to use the mermaid power a lot, and the thought of like, hey, you can't necessarily be using it from movement, so you have to be usually a standstill, but sometimes you have to be waiting a little bit before you can use it. It's getting more dumplings for health. Though, thanks to Abyssamaru last time, or thanks to the meat hammer we got, we're not gonna have a case of needing to worry about that ever again. Alright, so let's go out the front door, because in order to do the flight to the next area, we cannot play it inside of a dungeon, or castle, or most caves, although the cave where the Festival Temple Castle is, you can play it there, and you'll be heard. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let's take a flight. I'm getting a nice shot of her flute playing. Alright. Or as one of my friends from college used to say, well, I think I was going off on some tangent when I was in choir with them. She said, sorry, I was distracted by the pretty flute playing of one of the other members of our choir. We definitely could take of that back in the day, that's for sure. Okay, so next we're going to go to... Went there. We now to go to Yamato, so... Okay, we're going to go 2 places. I'm going to Key's Coffee Shop, because it's kind of on the way. This is a Silver Fortune doll I missed when we were going to the Awa Tourist Center, specific, which you can still go to, even though we have the Dragon Power now, but you have to pay 10 Rio for it, and it just takes you between there and Fokipoke Village. So, since you have Dragon, use that, because otherwise you're paying money for the same service. But you do get a little bit of a look to it. Alright, yeah, coming here on Awaji Island. On the approach to the tourist center, though, there are a couple of alcoves on the side. One right over here. As, yeah, like with Festival Temple Castle, this is where the game has big frame rate problems. Yeah, right there. So there's our next one. Just jump down here and get it. And you are invincible when you're in this thing, so yeah. I was gonna say, let me come out of that quickly so I can slice him in half. I do love that touch where Yai's samurai sword is able to slice him in half. And you get the nice cling. It just sounds so nice. Yeah, the audio design in this game is awesome, as is just the way the artistry and the visuals of it are. Even though it is a little antiquated now for certain aspects of itself, it just looks really nice and stylish. But okay, actually in this case, I also get to show one part I did not show last time. Although I think I might show this when I did this about 2 years ago. We're gonna go through the bamboo forest, because you can go through that directly here. We gotta go to Yamato, which is pretty close to where we need to be next. Yeah, you get the bamboo forest. You basically go in a row, so it's not like the turtle stone we had before to open up the shrine. You're just going through here and getting this great atmosphere here. Yeah, I'm saying, I can definitely see how great, you know, redo of this game as far as its music could be delivering this even better. Or basically enhancing on this. And this has been a while that's been since this game. 25 years in almost 2 months. I can't believe it's been that long. I've been playing this game for that long. But, yeah, it is. And also, this franchise has not been getting a lot of traction in the US, so, yeah, more attention to it. Yeah, I'm down with that. So, yeah, that's gonna be the question, really. And is that goes to that article I'm gonna link to, because, yeah, that is a fascinating ring. Kind of goes to a lot of the stuff that I've been thinking when it comes to, like, remasters, remakes, and the thought of, what do you hope for when they get a re-release of that, but also the idea that, hey, you know, you want to buy stuff so they can get to that point, which is true, you gotta do that in some cases. But, then will they do a bad job? You know, that's not cool. But, I mean, at least with Goemon, I mean, the only re-release of something Goemon-based was Mr. Goemon, the arcade game. And at that point, it was well ported. It was an Arcade Archives release. And here is the next one. You swim underneath there and get it. Alright, so there we go. That is our next upgrade that way. And next, we got the one that goes to Toys Castle. We got Awaji Islands. We have to go to, the bridge to Musashi, but we also, you know, let's go to Uedo Town. Because we don't really have much reason to go back there, for a while. So let's go back to where this adventure began. It's actually one of the easiest ones to find, but I didn't find it. Though it is a little bit off of the side, so you have to kind of go over and get it. Actually, no, this is actually where we're going, because, yeah, that is the door to Musashi right there. So what you do is you jump over there. If you see those platforms over there in the distance, jump over here and go swimming. Actually, no, while I'm in town, there is... I'm trying to remember if I showed this last time. No, actually, no, I didn't show this last time. So you know what? We're gonna go back to Goemon's house when I'm done here. Very briefly. Okay, we're gonna go the full way on this game. We're going the full way on this game. Okay, so that's that one. That's the last one we gotta get here. But I'm gonna see where is a way to get out of the water quick. Actually, wait, there is something actually by Goemon's house, which is not where a Silver Fortune doll is, but it is somewhere that I think has something underneath the water. So, you know what? Let's do that. Well, I was trying to find a way there. Okay, there we go. So there we go. This is perfect. We just go outside and climb up the ladder. And as we go along later, also go into that thing with the Legend of the Mystical Ninja anime, because as I mentioned, I did watch that entirely, the 23 run of it. I really enjoyed it. I really thought it was fantastic. It's not exactly like the games. Okay, that's where Oedo Castle is, so it's just have to go the other way. But, it's sort of like one of the games. It's sort of like, Gambari Goemon, I'm trying to remember, let me see what I wrote down here, because I took tons of pages of notes. Gambari Goemon Kirakura Dochu Boku ga Dancer ni Natawake, which has some of the villains from the anime in it, and that's the only game that they've been in. Specifically, the Sujikiri and Seppuku, who was the main villain for a couple the episodes, a good amount actually, who is a guy who, and I'll have pictures for all this stuff when I edit, he is kind of vain, but it's also the kind of thing that when he fails, he wants to kill himself, per the name of Seppuku, as far as, ritualistic suicide. He said, hey, if I'm gonna do this, I want to have my honor. But it's like, well, no, he keeps getting a case of not being able to do that. Alright, the doggy thinks that, something bad's happened, but I'm not gonna get involved. But every time, he's stopped from doing stuff until, later specific, well, sort of not. Okay, so here's where I was thinking I could swim underneath, but maybe there's not much reason to swim under here. I've realized with the mermaid power, there isn't always enough or much of a reason to kind of go in certain directions with it. At least without that I've noticed. But alright, fine. I came back here for one reason. I'll go home. This is my home. Or Goemon's home, because yeah, the Lord and Princess Yuki are here. They said, oh, you leave the castle. I realized when I was doing the off-screen money grind that if you go back to where they are, they're not there anymore. I said last time, you can come back and see them. Like, that's wrong. You come here and see them. Kyushu's having some problems, too. I'm glad I'm not the Lord of there. I was like, yeah. I heard about Kyushu. Yeah, because that floated up into the sky last time. If other areas around Japan are flying, it won't be any Japan left. Alright, we're going to stop that for sure. Right, so there you go. If you come back to their house, I believe it's after you beat Oedo Castle. I guess they go there for the purpose of their safety, which is fair enough. They'll be there. Although, yeah, okay, you can swim down here to get money, but as I said, since I'm at max money, it doesn't do anything. And it doesn't count past the 9,999. So if I were to use my Medal of Justice with Goemon by tossing the money, nothing would happen. Okay, so that's way to town done. That's everywhere there. We'll go to Festival Village last because we do need to go there for plot. But let's go to Zazentown. And we'll have to come back here as well anyway, so I could have feasibly said, fine, we'll do it later. But now's probably as good a time as any, honestly. And then, let's see. I think most of the other ones are... Okay, one is going to be on the way to where our next dungeon is. Actually, wait, no, we can't get the one in Zazentown yet. So you know what? We're going to Festival Village now. I forgot about that. We do need the power of what Sasuke's going to get later. We'll get that later. And actually, with the money grind I did, that's going to make this way easier for what we need to do over there. Okay, let's go to Festival Village. Which is where we left off last time. But this time, we're going to do is we're going to take in some of the local color and get a sense of where's our next destination. Well, okay, fine. And then we're also going to go and get one of the other Silver Fortune dolls that I missed, which is behind the waterfall, where we got the mermaid power. Actually, I'm trying to remember, did I take that down? I probably did, but before we do, let's go out. Yeah, let's go back to Mutsu. Yeah, this should be pretty quick, too, but I probably should have gotten this when I was over getting that last time, but either way, it's fine. And really, it's not going to be too much of a case anyway. Alright, so back in the tunnels of Uzun, we're going to be finding what we need to have. Okay, boom. And I did get the one that was in here, the one that was up there by the waterfall. So we don't need to deal with that anymore. And basically, I guess the way I did it was pretty much running, getting every one I saw. But there are definitely some that I was missing. But I said, also, when I played this game, I usually didn't go for 100%. And I think we mentioned that before. We mentioned that when we played Donkey Kong Country 3 a couple weeks ago, which is what happens to a game when you've never played it to 100%, and then when do you decide to do it that way, and what is your thought about it when it goes... I mean, this one is minor, because we'll see what you get for it. It's not massive, but it is actually an extra mode, so it is actually worth going after, I guess. Although this is actually going to be my first time running it as far as ever seeing it in my life, so... Yeah, I'll make history one way or another on this play. Okay, so swimmer here with the mermaid power. Yeah, this is a gold fortune doll. It is full recovery or full enhancement of my strength gauge. So got it. Okay. Actually, okay, that was what happened. I split off because it's gold fortune dolls, and then the ones there. The next couple of dungeons, Zazentown, when we can get it, on the way to the next dungeon, and where, what we can do, a flyback to Festival Village. Because even though you do have to wait 30 seconds, about a little more than that, for the dragon to take you off, we'll get you over there. Well, also, when you do it here, the water still goes off, as far as how the sound is. Yeah, we got the air, but we also have the water as well at the same time. Okay, so we'll get the one that's here, and then we will also talk to the local citizens. And I definitely want to save all that stuff, and I want to save specific, because if I run into that glitch again, I'm going to be really mad as far as the play. Alright, so this is Festival Village Mutsu. We saw it last time a little bit. Even the cold snow, it's burning energy that we have with our festival power. Because that's usually the idea when it comes to a lot of elements of Japanese culture, and Inn is right here, so we'll go save. Hello. Well, today we're going to do Adventure Diary right. Remember, you do need a controller pack to save for this, which is 16 pages, which gets you 3 save slots. And actually, before I go on that thing with the festival stuff, I realized, since we did the last part, I said, why do my controller packs keep dying? And I realized, actually, it runs on the same watch battery that the Sega Saturn does. So if you have a couple of those that are broken, get a special screwdriver for them. I don't know if they take the same one. Pop that battery out and put a new one in. It'll probably work as good as new. I should probably test that at some point. But alright, festivals reflect the heart and soul of the Japanese. Your blood's not pounding quickly or your body's not dancing. You can't consider yourself to be Japanese. I don't know if I go that far, but yeah, festivals are a big part as far as Japan, and the anime of Mystical Ninja goes into that specific as far as a lot of different things, holidays, how they handle certain stuff as well. Alright, north of this village you find the stone circle where the mysterious stone pillars stand. Doesn't mean there's a bunch of people in that circle. Alright, so that's fine that way. That actually is going to be very important later. Every single night's a festival. This is the part where you're supposed to stop me from being so excited. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to hold your excitement back. I mean, I'm excited to play this game and also hear this wonderful music. It's so wonderfully peaceful, too. Alright. If you climb the waterfall of Kigon, you can become a mermaid. Yeah, if you don't know to go and get the mermaid power for, Yai, she'll tell you. I myself am going to be a mermaid and wait for my prince to come. Alright, so this is taking the perspective of the Little Mermaid, I guess. We'll get more shops in town. Alright, so here's the restaurant. What do they got to eat? The apple, the bowl of noodles, and the kirtampo. But yeah, we're good with what we got. Yeah, basically just gonna walk around here and talk to everybody, and then go in the water and go in the cave over there. A long time ago, this village is where those who sacrificed their lives to come to live. They called it the Don't You Think It's Hot-Blooded Village. I made that up, it sounds true when I say it that way, huh? Hey, John, let me read your story again, my friend. Oh, they sacrificed their lives. Does that mean they killed themselves? So, how would that work? So I guess that's the idea of it being that way, as well as potentially a veiled reference to Foreigner. Which, knowing this game, I would not put past, because there already was reference to Michael Jackson in this game. And there's another one I'll show when we go back to Zazentown. But also, this shop is in the Festival Village, but I've never seen it. Wonder where it is. Alright, so that's the hint saying there's another store which sells other stuff as well. But here, that's fine. Okay, so let's see. How about the kid? Well, I'm also clipping through the kid. Okay. This store you can't enter unless you're a good swimmer. But if anyone attempts to swim here, all the snow on the ground, they'd catch a cold. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's also the practice that I'm doing with Gemini 96 for Earthbound, starting in October. We're getting to a case of me understanding that game, because I've not played it that massively. He knows basically everything about it, so I said, you have to be involved in this play if you want to be involved in it, absolutely. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, so our precious cow are abducted in the UFO area. Can't take this anymore. Okay, which goes to something Leckford said last time, which is what time period does this take place? Which, I guess to follow up on that, I looked, I don't know if it says specific. Back road mouth fears inaccessible due to the stone in the way. Knowing you destroy that stone and get through without an extra powerful weapon. Basically, his indication you can go back to see Makube like we did to get the perspective of where we're going next. There's only one day without a festival, which is the New Year. Kind of strange village, huh? Yeah, of all the things, I think that maybe that one, the celebration of the next year of everything. Alright, so this is Beth. Nice scent coming from the ocean. And she's getting hungry. So, alright, so she wants to have a fish meal specific as well. But at the time period, I don't think it's specified, although the anime is a little different, because the way the anime works, just to go into this, the anime has a setup where Goemon comes out of the video game world into the real world with this boy, and hangs around with this boy and his family, Tsukasa Ishikawa. And I'll go into stuff with their voice performances, because there's some interesting stuff I found that way. And there are a lot of villains who are trying to come out of the game world and cause trouble. So Goemon is there to stop them, as well as Abisamaru, Yai, Sasuke, and Monoshiri, who's the wise man, and who has his perverted elements to him, but also sometimes helps out with some of the things by pure accident. As well as the Goemon Impact, which is a little bit of a different case about how he works. And Amitsu, who they make specific is the fact that her and Goemon are an item. As far as, and she gets very jealous when either she doesn't eat her ohagi, which gives him his powers, which I believe ohagi is a kind of rice ball, specific as they indicate. As we're getting other stuff of foie gras and caviar, but it disappeared. So yeah, unfortunately, put that in a safe would have been a better idea. But yeah, that is the then present day, which was when that anime was made and released. It was 1997 and then 1998 for the next half of it for Japan. Then we got in 2003, so it was late. Anyway, in fact, way after any of the games came out. Exit south and turn right. Uzin Tunnel, you'll be able to find the waterfall of Kigon. Alright, that's the way to get there. Alright, thank you. As I said, that also goes to one other thing, which I guess we didn't really mention last time, or even the first time, which is, if you haven't played this game before, and unfortunately it's a expensive one, it's almost Shadow Hearts numbers in terms of how much it costs. It's like, I've seen $110, $120, I've sometimes seen it for a little less, like 90 and 100 cents, but if you haven't played this game before, I would suggest you do if you can afford it, but also the fact that, are you going to necessarily get lost in this game? The answer is, no, you will not. Usually. They'll give you enough of an indication, but sometimes that case where you have to talk to that one specific person in order to make progress. Alright, what do you come to buy? You get the gold helm with the gold armor and the surprise pack. Surprise pack is life, and the armors are 8 attacks from the enemy defended. You know what, fine. Since I have the money and I grind it all that way, let's not put it to waste. Yeah, I'll take the other helmet, and I still have that rice ball from the beginning of the game. But alright, fine. Let's get our nice item slot filled that way. Yeah, because you only have 3 items when you get them from the stores, and they'll go away when they're used. Actually, that rice ball probably is never going to get used because you have to run out of hearts for that, which that's not happening the way we have it set. And if you do, it basically recovers you. So it's like the fairies in Zelda, basically. Okay, so last thing we're going to do in this village is talk to some more people, because actually there is a festival square, which is over this way. Okay, I love the way I timed that jump, because they do freeze frame when you go through a door, but it basically holds that way, so it's almost like the Mega Man X and Mega Man normal games, honestly. Where the white faces run this village asking to see power of the festival. But why would he have to dog with me? I don't know anything. Alright, standing on 2 legs, but the Drum Festival brings power to my soul. Alright, the Drum Festival is right here. There's a nice taiko drum. Let's talk to people around. Well, a little younger, I'd be the one on the stage hitting the drum, but I'm afraid of heights, so probably not. Drum Festival was selected on looks, they'd pick me. Yeah, I can't necessarily argue that. My body's moving to the beat of the music. It's a very slow beat as far as this music, but a lovely piece of music as it is. Flash the Rockin' Kid, shaking it, baby. Alright, so there's Flash. Defender Universe. Okay, that's not the right lyric, but either way. The Drum Festival's not only popular with the boys, or the girls, but also with the boys. Alright. Yeah, men want to be him, and women want him, and men want to be him. Yeah, so I'm getting my references mixed up as far as that. Okay, so this is Kakozo. He is the drum specialist in town. Yeah, I am surprised. I'll say that to him. My drumstick techniques, I make any sound like drums. But the other day I hit a dog trying to make a sound, but I got into trouble. No! Too scared to go down. Okay, so he's afraid of heights too. But alright, fine. What if we're not, surprised who he is? Why? I guess that with that tone of voice. Yeah, I don't know. Right, there he is, and here is our nice town square. Okay. So next we're going to go to the other side of town, Because we do need to go to the next dungeon, which is something we do need the mermaid power to get. That's where our last miracle item is going to be. Because, yeah, just to reiterate, have the start button show this. Yeah, there are our items specific there. The miracle items are in the red box on the lower right-hand corner. Then the weapons and everything, and our key items. And also, if you have any silver fortune dolls, they are highlighted that way to how many you have. So, it'll show either a quarter, half, 3/4, or, yeah, only those three there if you're in a case of, yeah, you have more. But alright, that's good that way. Okay, so we've gotten our taste of the nice festival village, which is very nice. And him, as I think we talked to him before, saying about Mukube, who was... Okay, the brother of him, yeah. Yeah, he has the elements of his weapons, which we got last time. Yeah, and that's also why we have this nicer sword running out. Yeah, it is a sword. Okay. My mouth feel the power used by the witch is marvelous. Those marvelous spell right? It's 2 L's. Okay, maybe it is. I'm puzzled as like what exactly she's calling. Yeah, we saw last time what she was calling. She was calling Monashiri and then charging us for the privilege. Alright, hello. The other side of this village is Mount Fear. The witch lives, calls the spirits of all kinds of people. There's the day she called upon an alien spirit, which ended up causing a huge headache. Okay. This year's covered with ice because icebergs drifting down from the North Pole, so I guess... Alright, yeah, that's quite a journey coming from the North Pole to Japan, and it's been a cold front. Main route is covered in ice, making it difficult to progress, but Shinmi is difficult to climb to use the ladder and climb the alternate route. Yeah, so that's the idea. You don't have to do mountain climbing gear. A fish monster jump out of the ocean looking like something out of a special effects movie. Okay. God, I love foreshadowing. But anyway, let's go back to Mount Fear. I don't think I necessarily talked enough about how good this piece of music is. Or fine, that's the entire soundtrack. There's not a dud in this soundtrack, but there are tracks I don't remember as much as others. That's for certain. Okay, so yeah, we have to go to Mutsu Shoreline. And over there is the stone circle. We'll go there later, because we do have to go there for plot. Alright, there's a gate located underwater of the sea here. To open it, you have to hit the red button in the waters. And so, it looks like a job for Yai. Yai's gonna get a lot of play tonight, by the way, just for the purpose of this power specific. Especially here, because you do need this to get in here. So there's the button, go down swimming. In that case, do the B button, dash forward to get it. God, I love the use of the shakuhachi here. It's amazing, as far as on the soundtrack. Also, you can't drown, by the way, when you're underwater. That's the power of the mermaid here. So yeah, there is Yai the mermaid. Look as stylish as ever. Okay, so our next dungeon is here in Japan Sea. And you get this very relaxed kind of underwater music. It sounds like a little bit of a precursor to Jolly Roger's Lagoon in Banjo-Tooie, which will come out 2 years after this. And we'll get to that eventually when we get to play that game, although that's going to be a ways down the road. I will say that because, first of all, Edwack called Banjo-Kazooie the first game in the series. I don't know if we'll do it this year. We'll figure that. They're going to be on the show in a couple weeks for the Freddy Fish games that Nikki's going to play as we got another life with that surprise pack. But also, I think I might mention the show, but I'll go into this explicitly. We're not playing Banjo-Tooie until we play Donkey Kong 64, because Donkey Kong 64 plays a lot like Banjo-Kazooie, maybe to a detriment perhaps, but also the fact that how backtracking worked in that game, and then how Banjo-Tooie clearly reacted to how that game operated. I think that puts in a context that is worth having. Alright, one more. Strength gauge is increased by 1. So that is the one in the Japan Sea. That is right there. We got the one in the Festival Village. And then the last one actually is the one in Zazen Town, because before you go to the end of the game, which is a point of no return, you have to have 18 hearts. And with that next one, we'll have it. Oh! Yeah, when you're on the water, if you see enemies, just do the charge towards them. So it's like Echo the Dolphin, specifically the Defender of the Future on Dreamcast and PlayStation 2. And if you played that game, you might know that that's got some weird stuff. Although it's a game, I have a complicated one on that one, like with Donkey Kong 64, really, as you swim in here to the next castle. Alright, so you basically go up there and follow the arrows and be careful of where everything is. Because, yeah, you're basically going to the fans of the ship here. So, yeah, what is this? Alright, this is the Gourmet Submarine Castle. And this you have to go in. You have to go in from the bottom. Yeah, and you're gonna maybe like or not like camera angles in here, because this is enclosed in significantly. Also, I do not want to run into the crash bug I found when I got here. I was out once, but I don't want to have it happen again. But alright, we're in this underwater ship. Well, I'm trying to get myself going this way. Yeah, jumping on the sushi. So yeah, if you have a thing for sushi, you're gonna like this, or any case of Japanese food. Right, fine. Let's get Yai in here. And since this is enclosed in, the camera often gets stuck as far as stuff. That's one thing I'll say. Fine. Konami, if you're listening and you're gonna re-release this game, remake this game, A, I'd love it. B, I'll buy it right away. And C, here's the camera, please. Not that it's horrible, but something that, yeah, you want to make sure it's set, as we got Mr. Elephant. So there's our map, as is the case last time. And they do give you ideas of where you're going to go as far as the, number that, yeah, and then they also have explosive presence, which, can take the frame rate even further. As well as these things, which actually do look like the, Shujikiris, because I was saying, like, what were these things? Actually, watching that anime kind of made me understand it. Like, wait, okay, I understand now. And actually, no, I'm not taking damage because I'm getting hit with the armor. So, like, yeah, I'm basically able to be totally reckless. So, perfect. Okay, yeah, this part, I do want Goemon here because I do need to use the, Okay, fine, I'm gonna knock him out with the money. Use the block here. But I don't think you necessarily need to use... Also, yeah, there is lava there. Don't touch that or you're gonna get yourself hurt. You have a bit of a different animation when you bounce off of it, so I might show that. We'll see what happens. Okay, that's back to this room. Alright, so we're back here again. Yeah, if nothing else, this dungeon is gonna be helpful to take a look at that map. Although, as I mentioned, it is very enclosed in. Yeah, there's the Gourmet Submarine Castle. It is 4 floors. But, for this... Yeah, sometimes you can get turned around. Alright, boom. Alright, fine, I'll show him getting hit on his foot. Okay, and that will not be protected by the armor. I did not know that, so... Okay, good thing I bought that armor, then. Alright, yeah. Also, yeah, some of the platform stuff, because of the way the camera is positioned, and also because I realized something when I was doing tests on this game, and that is... There are times it doesn't recognize your jumps... in weird cases. The challenge we need to do for Sasuke's power is going to make me realize that, or I'll probably show that when we get to that point. We hit the button and it wasn't doing anything. Like, why? It's not like a button lag, just it eats your input. Which is weird. Alright. You go down the bottom, but you probably have to take a hit doing that. Okay, so right here is where, so stuff is, yeah, we have the sushi go around. If you ever go to the restaurants and see the sushi on the conveyor belts and things, that's the case. But yeah, in those were places that didn't come alive and try to kill you. In this game they do, but as long as you use the chain pipe with Goemon, you'll be able to get over here and get the key. And it's every 2 of these where there'll be enemies. So there's the silver key. I'll go in the water. There's nothing really in the water, so not much of a reason to go down there. Oh, whoa! Ow! Whoa! Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, the way the camera goes, and that goes to something actually when I started the show tonight, which is... In fact, I'll show this. When you stop, the camera will turn to a certain area, but then it hit the wall there, so it's kind of getting stuck. But I was trying to get a case of like, hey, how can I show Goemon at the beginning of this in a good light? But, yeah, sometimes it kind of changes itself on its own, even as far as how his animation was concerned. Which I'll probably keep that in for some purpose when I edit this. Right, there is the door over there. Oh, yeah, also be careful to not knock him down. Alright, fine, throw the money. Yeah, and the trick to go across everything with the money is not always going to help you. Alright, so and there is, okay, here's soup. It's safe. You don't get yourself burned going into that soup. And then you get the organ going here. I do love the build of this. Alright. Yeah, so in this case, yeah, if you haven't eaten tonight specifically, yeah, you're gonna look at this and probably say, like, yeah, this is gonna make you pretty hungry. Oh, shit. Wait, not that there's much of a penalty for, you know, missing the jumps, and unlike some of the other games, like I wasn't able to make that jump down from, Festival Temple Castle to the tower, yeah, you'll be fine without, taking fall damage. Alright, so there is, Mr. Arrow, tell us what the boss is. As we go to the next area. And there are no silver fortune dolls, by the way, in here, or gold fortune dolls, so you don't have to worry. Pull out Yai to go swimming in the soup. So it must be like a nice miso, I guess. Yeah, because there is, I guess, some cucumber and some onion and some seaweed. Yeah, this game revels and relishes its Japanese influence, but as I said, when I first played this game, I loved that about it. It felt like this otherworldly take of... Fine, I didn't have much of a reference of Japan at the time, and this game was kind of a good primer for that. And I just liked it. It just seems so neat. It's like, I love how this is kind of taking this cultural element of itself and then twisting around with its own interpretations. And it's great stuff. Okay, but yeah, you can still go in the water. You don't have to worry about things happening. Or like draining water or anything. Okay, so next, let's see. There's a key right here. Alright, there's the silver key. Oh yeah, the dash is not super fast, but either way, it does get some distance going on. So you might probably just want to keep tapping the A button. So it's like Echo the Dolphin exactly. Although actually, I will say I do think as far as this Echo the Dolphin Defender of the Future plays better than this as far as under the water. Although this is not the main gameplay mechanic of it compared to that one. And that's a game I think we've mentioned the Echo the Dolphin games in general on the show, but that one in particular, I have to figure out how I want to show that because that's a game that's so insanely cryptic. I'm gonna have a walkthrough on hand the entire time. Otherwise, I'm not gonna know where I'm going. And I don't think anybody would be upset about having the game played that way. But it's one of those cases where everything about it is great in terms of how it looks, how it sounds, and I'd say even how it controls. I think it's great. Every part of the game that matters is terrific. It just then it gets so damn difficult, and the question of it becomes a case of not knowing where you're supposed to go, and you're like, wait, where am I going? What's going on? And so that kind of gets a case of, yeah, even like the second level, like, where am I going? I don't know where I'm going, and I had to look up a walkthrough to get a sense of how do I get there. I mean, it's one thing to, you know, not know exactly where you're going to go, but another one to get a sense of, hey, you can't necessarily even intuit it, saying like, okay, fine, go this way. I mean, even the old Echo the Dolphin games didn't have that problem. And it was by the same people who made those old Echo the Dolphin games, which was surprising. But it is a very impressively artistic game, and it is one that I can't totally hate it, even though it's a case of its playability is hard because you don't know where you're going. But it's one that every time I play it, I kind of say to myself, God, I want to love this game. I want to just fall head over heels on it, and the pieces are all there. But it is a weird one that way. But is that just because it's something like that doesn't mean we're not going to play it for the show. Well, I guess the first time we play Echo the Dolphin, I guess we'll play the original. And Chad, it's going to be your choice if you want to see Sega CD or Genesis for that, because they do have the Genesis Mini 2 that has that. Well, we get an item in here. The Yai Bazooka. So this is her last item. She has her bazooka. Some of the other games, she has this. You can shoot from a distance, and you hold the B button down, and then do lock-on on enemies, which rarely works. It's worth pointing out. Also, don't hit the bottom there, the silver there, because this is an oven. Or fine, it's like a pan or something that's on a stove. Although the meat there, that's gonna be safe. That's piping hot. We're set that way. Okay, so yeah, just want to be careful not to make that. Okay, so I'll show this how it works. You shoot it, it takes up 1 Rio. It does have lock-on. But the lock-on rarely goes anywhere. So it's like, yeah, the lock-on is not very useful in this game, unless you're right next to the enemies, in which case, yeah, just be able to bazooka them. And when you use that lock-on shot, it is 3 Rio cost. Alright, so in the next room we go. Alright, in this case, wait, that, oh no, that's right. I was like, wait, I went through the door. I'm thinking the cage is up there, and actually I can show where that is, because there's not a silver fortune doll, but there is an item I can pick up. And it's right here. Okay, so what you do here is if you want to use Beast Mario, do the mini beast power and go through the wall. This will take you to the meshing that's over this area, and then you can get the items that are over here. Although, for my purpose, there's not really much reason to do this except to show that it's there, and I guess also to go over and get the surprise pack. You know what? Fine, let's go big, because yeah, when you're small, you run slower. Alright, so there's a surprise pack. So there's your many players or lives as it is. Okay, so this is it's fine. Let's go through here. Alright, so there's money if you need it. I mean, I don't need it based on how I ran the money, but either way, it was set. As I said, I do like the atmosphere in here, even though it's very cramped, and as I mentioned last time, maybe... Okay, I don't know if I'd say this is forgettable exactly, only because, fine, I did it a couple days ago, number one. Number two, it's just the fact that I haven't finished this game that much, so the second half of the game always is a little bit of a blur to me, as it's saying that, okay, use the wind-up camera. There'll be a flash here, a little bit sort of for flashing light when I let go of the B button about now. In that case, I'll vocally indicate it, so it's not going to be every 2 seconds like with Shadow Hearts. Or, fine, like we do Skies of Arcadia, or some other stuff. But either way, that's set as we go this way, and there is something I can get over here. Oh, alright, I can just jump right over here. I was making it too hard on myself, saying go to the right instead of the left. Oh yeah, and the bombs. I did show what the bombs were last time because I needed to go in there. Or go into one of the doors to get the gold fortune doll that we had at one point. Also, I do want to go this way because I'm nervous about one thing. Not this. Oh, okay, that was interesting. You saw that, right? So the residue from my hit, they run into it. Okay, it causes damage. Okay, that's useful, actually. I did not know that, honestly. We do not need that for this game. Okay, this room. Let me turn around here. You get the nice soup there, and there's a fox face over there. Down there. I'm gonna tell you what happened. When I was on the test play of this back on Sunday, I jumped down there. There are two of those crabs in the bowls that will nip at you. I actually jumped there with Sasuke. The game locked up. I never saw it happen before. I didn't take a chance to try and make it happen again. I don't know if it's something that's in the code of the game or just something that really happened. I don't know if the fact that I had all the money I had something to do with it. But I'm nervous because I don't want that to happen on the show. So what I'm going to do is, since I got the silver key, and it doesn't unlock that door on the side, because I don't think it unlocks that door on the side, I'm going to go back this way. Alright, so let's get another flash going on the camera. And it goes to one thing to go back to the anime, because I guess I'll just go back into that element of discussing that, which is that one thing I like is that it's not exactly the same as this game, or any other ones really, but just the fact that it does capture the feel of the characters pretty well, including the idea that each of them kind of have their own element that they bring to the team that makes them unique, outside of just their character traits. Because yeah, in the anime, Abyssamaru does like having his food, that's for sure. But he also is one of those people who's like, yeah, he kind of wants to keep things running specifically. When he makes a screw up at one point, he basically holds it over himself. He says like, fine, I made this mistake, I have to do this right, specifically because it involves a member of the team. He's like, fine, I'm gonna do what I need to do in order to make this happen. And it's kind of great as far as how that works with him. I'm gonna try and get that silver fortune off. Like, you know what, I'll shrink down just to make the walkover easier. So you do get that nice character development of him as well as a lot of the other characters. Although it's interesting, I guess, to get a sense of like what are certain characters like and hearing them in English voices, because I guess I can go into this now. Well, fine, I'll go into it a little later because I do have the voice performances written down. See, it's funny, I had the voice performances written down for this game we're playing right now last month, but I went through everybody already and said who voices who, or whom voices whom, as there is... Oh, you jump there. Got it. Yes, we're never gonna have a problem with lives or getting game over, although... I do know Leg vs. Ass as far as the game over screen, so you know, I'll tell you what we'll do. For the case of this, I will show the game over screen at the end of the show. Actually, no, I think I know I can handle that. Alright, so there's the key we need to get to go there. I was like, wait, it was stopping. What was going on there? Yeah, we need the diamond key. The diamond key is in here, and same deal, pull the wind-up camera out and take a picture. Alright, so that should be good, and, yeah. Yeah, that won't burn you. Like, that's the diamond key, and we need to go the other way. And I'm gonna go all the way around, because I'm not taking the chances. Also because the jump to make from, in fact, I'll show briefly. You can ride the soup there and the other ones on the sides. You can make the jump for, but with the fox faces around, it's hard to avoid that, so I'm not gonna do that. Or, wait. Is that right? Hang on. Okay, in that case, yeah, it's a good thing I have the helmet, or the, yeah, the helmet. Because that counts as head damage. So yeah, that must be heaven for Bisamaru just lying back in a bowl of soup. Alright, that's the door we've got to go in. Before I do, I'm gonna take a look over here. Oh, that's this, so yeah, we're going this way. Alrighty. And there we go, we are actually at the end. Alright, actually, we're pretty quick on this. Alright, fine, for variety's sake, we'll come in with Yai. Or, not. We're not done yet. Okay, fine. After we make the walk across, and then we're gonna be done. Actually, this went way faster than I thought it was going to. Alright, here we go. Okay, so this is Poron. Another one of, the goons of, Spring Breeze Dancing. You ever give up? It's you're a diehard fan of mine. No, I want the Miracle Light. I'm not here for you. So is that so? Too bad though, because last time I was in the Kansai region on vacation, I dropped in the Zazen town. And the audience is like, okay, yeah, so we do have a live studio audience on the show tonight. So yeah, SuperOldGameSaturday is recorded in front of a live studio audience provided by this Konami game from 25 years ago. You've got to be kidding me. Well, if he's not, we have to go over there and get it. But first, there's Kitty Lily, who was mentioned last time, is voiced by the person who's Sailor Moon for Japan. Her name was on my pages from a couple times ago. Let's see, that was for Guitar Man, that was for... Okay, it was, I've written down where it is, just to give a sense of that. Yeah, Kotono Mitsuishi is, voice of Kitty Lily in this. Kitty Lily's not in the anime, by the way. In fact, none of the enemies in this game are. Yeah, here she is in a hologram. Yeah, it's gonna be easy to find this thing. Yeah, getting in the way too often. Alright, so we're gonna go far away. But Danson, yeah, he doesn't want to have the glory taken away from himself. I confirmed this from last time. I think I put an edit in specific. Yeah, that is Koichi Yamadera who voices him, who's the policeman in Kiki's Delivery Service, the Japanese version. So I was like, okay, fine. The policeman at the opening of Kiki's Delivery Service was like, yeah, you almost caused a big accident and you're gonna be written up and reported to your parents. And Sailor Moon team up. Yeah, there is a sight, and there might also be an edit that I'm thinking I should probably put in for that. But alright. It just says la la in his dialogue. You're invited to hell. So it's like, okay, yeah, this game is rated E for everyone, but did you say that? Or it's like Donkey Kong 64 the year after this. With the DK route saying, he may move slow, he can't jump high, but this Kong's one hell of a guy. And then the Super Smash Bros. Games that are rated more intensely than that, change it to heck of a guy. But anyway, yeah, he still calls me Fernandez. It's not Fernandez, goddammit. And even Lily's annoyed by this. What are you doing here? But I haven't been in many scenes of this. I want more screen time. But what about that word? Yeah, but the audience is joke critics now saying, like, my name is not Dan Scene, and they're saying, like, the joke was bad and you should feel bad. Alright, yeah, you're taking valuable screen time away from my scene to tell us that horrible joke. So even Lily's saying that, fine, I'm his assistant, I'm helping, but even she's saying that, no, this joke sucked, and, yeah, you should try again. But you got much to learn. To be a star, you have to stand out like a sore thumb. So he's like, fine, any publicity is good publicity. Fair enough. But that's not fair, now they're fighting. So, yeah, did you not forget that we came here? It's like, yeah, we're here, right? You have this evil plan. You took Kyushu away, you took, Goemon's girl, Imitsu, away, which this game doesn't really say that they're in a relationship. The anime makes it perfectly clear, to the point where Imitsu is always angry when Goemon finds himself in compromising positions, sort of. But even Poran saying, like, Dance and Lily, we have stuff going on. What have we been doing here? Give him a cues, please. Okay, fine. Why don't you use the device to get rid of him? Yeah, the device. Alright, I will. Alright, Fernandez, bye-bye. But that's my line! You're going and saying, like, yo, what was that about? Okay, fine. As you said, we're gonna be using, the device, and bye-bye to you. Alright, turn it on. And doing the spin out. But wait! Alright, so yeah, also, yeah, this place is gonna blow. He has 30 seconds, to get out of here. The bomb is set. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it has been, so we gotta get our way out. We're gonna be dying here, right? We're gonna be fish food, huh? Yeah, fine. Joke critic as far as, dancing, but also, Sasuke joke critic saying, like, no, we gotta get our way out. Also, you can sit here, by the way, for more than 30 seconds, and it will not blow up. Thank God we got to this point so we could do a save. And in the case of the anime, what are we going to do when we get in trouble? We'll have the, Ahagi in the case of, Goemon to pull out that Triton shell and say, pure power! For all that's good, Goemon Impact! And here indeed is Goemon Impact, making his first appearance on the show tonight. Good to see you, my friend. And yeah, it means there's another Goemon Impact level, and we hear this amazing music again! Yeah, I didn't talk over it last time. I'm gonna talk over it this time. God, I love it so much. It is fantastic, and yeah, I never get sick of it. And did you see this every time you do this, and it never gets old again. Oiwa Kunchas Impakuto. Dash! Alright, let's get going. So, like before, we saw last month, it's two parts to the Goemon Impact stuff. You're doing skating around, hitting B button to hit everything, and don't get hit with tripwires, which are actually very easy to get hit by here. And don't crash in the mountains. Yeah, we're going across the water here, like, yeah, he's rolling skating on the water. Yeah, right there. The ropes there will trip you up, so don't let that happen. You basically just keep beating stuff up to get your Rio up and also get your health up. Or your oil level. As you're getting the, you know, instrumental version of the song. Oh, I jumped too early. Okay, yeah, you do have a little bit of a delay when you land on the ground after you jump. Because, hey, he's a giant robot, although the anime is a bit different because in the anime, well, fine, he's not off making a movie like in this one. And a lot of the other ones, anyway. He's actually part of your group. He's the kind of this, he's known as Mini. And whenever Goemon plays that Triton shell, but he needs the power of his Hagi, or Mitsu's Hagi to do it. And the kids are like, either he's not powerful enough, he hasn't eaten it, so it won't work, can't blow it hard enough. Or sometimes, like, the Ohagi got frozen when they went up to the mountains to do skiing. But, in that case, yeah, that's kind of what happens. He comes down and he says, finally, big, bigger, biggest of all, for all that is good, Goemon Impact! And with that, we have another Goemon Impact boss. Works similarly to the one we had before. This one's a little underwater, or at least part of it is. There's Thaisamba 2. Charming Mermaid. Thaisamba 1, I don't think is a factor. Alright, there we go. The same deal as before, it is first-person base. Usually you might want to do the hook on, which is the R button, hit the A button to drag him in or her in. Yeah, and on the water you can't get them. And if you miss, you might have to wait. If your quick punch is on the A button, which you can use to hit the orbs out of the way and get Rio off of them, you're going to want to do that. The A button is your stronger punch that doesn't necessarily work specifically. Oh, okay, fine, I did the kick. That was not... There are button combinations, as I mentioned last time. Yeah, you can run those specifically, including the mouth laser. That's what you really want to use. I'll do it in just a second. Okay, yeah, I was also trying to do the Mega Punch, or the Super Punch, which is hit C up, C down, C up, and the A button. And there's a couple areas I'm going to be using that pretty significantly. Ah! Well, I'll miss the charge on the beam. Yeah, you basically want to build the beam up enough so that you can cause some damage quick. Oh, I missed the kick. And these can sometimes take a while, and as like was indicating when we played this last month. Yeah, they can be pretty hard, and... Well, yeah, hold that thought, specific as we go on, because there is going to be another boss. Actually, spoiler warning, we're not going to have a traditional boss ever again in this game. We're only doing Goemon Impact for the rest of the game, as far as their bosses are concerned. There we go. If you can't get the mouth laser running, you might want to use that, because it doesn't take up any aspect of the bar. And after you do enough damage, I think when you get them below, or that close, almost to 1,000, go down the water and continue it down here. No, by the way, oh, yeah! Okay, yeah, also, I'm missing the beam, but yeah, you can use it underwater, so you don't have to worry about that. Actually, for a little bit of time, I was actually kind of in a case of actually using the radar, because I think I said last time the radar's not going to be much help, but the red is the enemy, and the yellow is you. So if you can see where he's coming from, at least you get a sense of, okay, he's there, so be ready to punch him. And also, don't necessarily be afraid to use your Rio, because you build it up as far as the approach over here. Ow. Unfortunately, I got stuck with that. Alright. Alright, get up. Okay, perfect. That's what you want to do. Do the rapid punch, him to the ground, and then him with the beam. Yeah, he's not going to last much longer. But... yeah, in that case, yes, hit him. Alright, perfect. Just one punch and he's gone. Alright, so bye-bye. Yeah, but in that case, Impact saying, like, yeah, fine, screw you, I'm punching you. And, once again, Justice has a happy ending. Okay, so that is, the Gourmet Submarine Castle, but we don't have the miracle item, so what do we do? Alright, but Impact is still shooting his movie. So he was going to America last time. Apparently this is a world faring case, so he has to go to France. Need me again? Au revoir. Yeah, we'll call you later. And we will call him later. He's where the final boss is going to be. And, like, before you get a free save off him. So, alright, thank you, Goemon Impact. Take care. Boom. There you go. I do have that stamp sound, like the bump. Okay, so, what do we do as far as the last item? Well, you can talk to people and get a sense of where to go. Specifically. Actually, wait a minute. Okay, here's the weird thing. I'm looking as far as what's going on with, the rest of the play of this game, but it seems to me that, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna be done with this sooner than I thought. But I'll see. I don't know. This is not a long game when you know what you're doing and everything, but that being said, yeah, we'll see how this is gonna go. Alright, on the other side of this village is Mount Fear, where a witch lives. Okay, so they're still telling us the same stuff we already know. I don't know if you actually have to go to her again. Oh no, I don't know if there's any difference if you do go to her again. But, okay, I do know where we have to go. We do need to go to Zazentown. Like, let's have a flight back. Alright, let's see. Right here. Also, I'm doing this, I'm gonna take a look and inventory where we're going as far as other items. Okay. So, final dungeon, of which there are... Yeah, there's only one gold fortune doll and a 4 silver fortune dolls, and the one we're gonna get from Zazentown. But there is something we need to do specifically in Zazentown, and at this point, we can talk to people. Actually, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go one place specifically. I'm gonna go down the river, up to Duck Creek. I'm gonna talk to the doggy there, because there's a line of dialogue I actually did not know specific. And also in here is one thing we're gonna have to do in order to get our elements. But before I do that, we're gonna show this first. And not from him. The other day I had a chance to see Benkei's collection. I couldn't believe the stuff he collected, a world I'd never understand. Yeah, Benkei does have a lot of stuff. Maybe he knows what's going on. Alright, here's the doggy. Let's talk to you. Yeah, it's Chiyomaru. Who is he really? Alright, Chiyomaru, let's get some information about him. I come from a dog star far, far away, so I guess he's an alien. But he's a famous dog movie star. Yeah, follow me, because Timmy's stuck down a well. Okay, no, he's not. Yeah, so that's supposed to be Take on Lassie. Which I don't think there's any games based on Lassie that I'm aware of. Right, what do you know? I remember Mr. Ushiwaka. He's gone? He still hasn't paid back the money I lent him to those octopus dumplings. Right, there's one person who might know where he is. Benkei. Oh, okay, fine. We have to go up here, finally. What are you wandering for? Not where you should be right now. Well, not exactly, but, one thing I am gonna do is... I'm gonna talk to him. Alright, here's another kid. Okay, so this is one of the kids who was kidnapped, from, well, initially, I guess, from Zazentown as well as Folky Poke Village. Everyone says I wanted to kidnap because I don't have any newfound dancing talent. Just watch me. No matter what, I'm gonna be the best dancer in Japan. Alright, so... He was kidnapped by the Peach Mountain Shoguns, but he's saying that, okay, nobody takes me seriously anymore. Okay, that's the guardhouse. Maybe he knows something. Gigantic robots, certain ring to those worlds gets the adrenaline flowing. Okay. Fine, I'll go see Benkei specific because he's on the other side of town. Because I want to see if anybody tells you, because you have to go in there for what we gotta do next, but I want to see if anybody's gonna tell me that. Hi. It's a very old historical town, which he indicated. Yoshi didn't want to be a great dancer, as we saw last time. I saw my own eyes, a wobbly thing flying and a bunch of little creatures hanging around it. Okay, there we go. Now, we're getting somewhere. All the children returned safely, which they did, from Folky Poke Village. Benkei's been letting me pass without taking anything. Wonder why. Maybe he's got a crush on me. Yeah, or we just knocked him down. Alright, using his super ears. Okay, in case the Shikoku region has been solved by us. That's true. Alright, let's talk to Benkei because I think he will indicate what we have to do. They did say come back to Zazen Town. I know where we're going. I just want to talk to you and saying. Yeah, excuse me. I want to ask you something. Do you have a miracle item? Miracle item? No, sorry, I don't have anything like that. Maybe he'd have it. Who's that? The collector with a collection even greater than mine. His name is Kihachi. Where can we find him? Oh yeah, you talk to Benkei in order to understand where Kihachi is. He lives in the center pond of Zazen Town. Alright, so yeah, that is where he is. So yeah, I guess because we beat him and because we earned his respect, Benkei is going to be fine with giving us information. Alright, so go back here where the lake was, and or the pond, and walk in front. In fact, I will also switch to Sasuke, just for variety. And also because I want to see if he says a specific piece of dialogue. Alright, so this is Kihachi. He's a water imp. Yeah, I'm wondering something. Do you have a particular item in this town? Maybe this? Yeah, can we have it? No, you just don't ask to get something for nothing. Okay, so he doesn't say it. I think he says something as far as, if someone as cute as you. If you come here, the eye. Specific, okay. Tell me out loud what you have. Well, we have, almost 10,000 Reno. Is that gonna be enough? It's no easy task to carve world on this rock. It's a tough world. And that didn't get a laugh track. Apparently the audience didn't get it. Can't give things away for your collection. Alright, fine. Yai's saying reconsider, please. Okay, no. Okay, fine. He does say it, because, the dialogues will sort of kind of change when you talk to characters in this game. Sometimes. But in the case of this, it's just that Yai jumps in with dialogue. Alright, so yeah. So excuse you will do something for that. Alright, so what are we doing? I'll give it to you on one condition. Bring me my favorite food. Favorite food? Okay, so, Kihachi spells favorite without the U, and Ibisumaru and company do. Yeah, my favorite food. And now he's spelling it that way. Alright, come back with it. Okay, so, what is his favorite food? So, if you're not sure, go ask. People will know. I do know what his favorite food is, but we have to get a sense of how to get it. Kihachi loves cucumbers, which is made by the son of the priest of the Golden Temple. But he doesn't like cockroaches. I don't know anyone who does. Okay, actually, I never heard that one before. Get messengers to strengthen my legs, jump greater heights. As a child, I always wanted to light up the big sacred fire. Okay, that's another hint of where we need to go. So, actually, what does Benkei have to say? Maybe he has some indication. Can't wait to Kihachi. I have to build my collection. Okay, so fine. He's seeing another rival. He has another will to live, as it is. Alright, so what we're gonna do is... They said cucumber, so I was like, what about cucumber? We have to go to the Golden Temple. So we went there last time to get the mini Ibisu power, so Ushiwaka, who I guess isn't around anymore? You know what, fine, I want to see something. I'll do this a little later, but yeah, the priest. You come to listen to my sermon? I haven't, really, sorry. Where's your son? You want to see my son? He's gonna watch the big sacred fire. You'll find of it Mount Niuigatake. Oh, it's Mount Niuigatake. Yeah, I said it badly last time, too. It's next to this temple. We have the chance to meet him there, yes? It won't be that simple, though. To get up there, you need to have jump training. Can you do this? Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Begin with the training. So go to Bizan in the Chukoku region. There's a locked warehouse. This is what I was thinking last time. Which there's that door with the gold lock on. I said, what is that for? It's for this. Inside the warehouse, a training gym, and I give you the key to open it. Alright, so there we go. We're getting the key to the training area. Alright, let's take a look at this. Right, there it is, right there. That nice big key. But before we go, because we do need to go to Beeson, which is just out that door there. Oh, wait. No, that's where the mountain is. It's right there. So, okay, that was weird. It looked like the camera shifted for some reason. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back there because I want to see something. Actually, wait, no, I can just go down the Duck Creek. Because that's pretty close to where he is anyway. So fine, let's do this. And also, we're gonna have to come back here for the last Silver Fortune doll before we go to Endgame. Which, actually, looking at it, we might be done with this game way shorter than I thought we would. To the point where, I don't know if this is going to be even like a 3-hour part. But we'll see. Look, we'll go as long as we need to, or where we need to, and then I can also go to stuff on the Mystical Ninja anime. Okay, there's Ushiwaka. Smaller, you don't need to eat as much, and the room can seem so large, even a bachelor pad will look like a castle. So, okay, that's getting me thinking of one thing, which is that that's kind of like a precursor to the movie Downsizing, which came out, what was that? That was 2017. It was directed by Alexander Payne, who made Sideways and Election, and I remember my family actually went with me to see that movie the day after Christmas at 9:50 in the morning. We were the only people in the theater, and actually a lot of my family hated it. I didn't totally hate it, but it was a case that it's kind of the same plot. It's the idea that, or the same idea that he's saying, that, hey, you can go through this downsizing process, be smaller, and your money goes further. You get to live in riches as far as everything being worth more money when you're smaller, but you can never go back to being big again. So it's this weird case of it, but yeah, looking at it, I was like, okay, that kind of reminded me, but yeah, this is better. That'd be a bit, maybe that's what Downsize was missing. It was missing like a mixed Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Alright, so let's talk to the trainer. Alright, so this is like the same training guy we had for the sudden impact stuff. Without legs and ankles, become a super jumper. Okay. Come take on the train? Sure have. Yeah, but yeah, we can't do this. It'd be someone with a triangle eyebrow and rough head. They're talking about Sasuke. In fact, I will do zoom in that way. Yeah, the triangle eyebrows and the head that way. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so this is the last of the powers minigames, unless the powers are gonna get. It's a platforming challenge. You have to climb up that tower this way with the platforms that are going in and out. You have to reach the goal at the end before the time limit ends. Jump on the footholds and move and try your best to finish within the time limit. If you do, you get a nice reward. But as I mentioned, yeah, you have 99 seconds, but that can go down pretty quickly when this game eats your jumps. And yeah, this area does eat your jumps. So make sure you pretty much get yourself lined up and then just tap that A button as hard as you can and hold it. Don't assume that, just tapping really quickly is going to do anything. Also, you have these areas where it's going to be blocking you if you jump wrong. So yeah, don't jump wrong. Basically just push down on that A button. I don't know, maybe there's something with my controller, but right there, I hit the A button. Okay, I'm glad I got to show that for that very reason. I hit the A button. I felt I hit it pretty hard. You're probably hearing it on the mic, that. And there's no delay as far as how the jump is, but it is kind of weird how some of these things are working. And alright, fine, I guess it's a little off as far as how certain things are. You usually have enough time unless you fall really far down. Right, I'm fine. I'm glad I got to show that just for the case of being able to show that. And I'll also show some stuff with crouching, which I actually did not know until I was doing tests. Oh, crap. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so that's what's happening. I'm getting blocked. So basically, the distance... Okay. Yeah, I hit the button again. Oh, whoa! Okay, I never saw that happen before. Okay, I'm glad I got to have that happen. And by the way, if you do run into a case of that, you can't restart, so... Yeah, it's gonna be clutch. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, I swear to God, this game is eating jumps. Okay, fine. That was me jumping wrong. Not that the controls are bad, necessarily, but it seems like when I'm hitting the jump button, sometimes it's just not hitting it, or getting caught on certain platforms. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make this, based on all the mistakes I've made so far. Because at first I said, oh, this is gonna be way easier than the, Sudden Impact game, and it is, I mean, but still, the way that the game got in the way of it. Whoa, okay, fine, that's what happens. I guess the distance is too high, so alright, fine, I'm gonna lose. At least I get to show him losing. Well, Yeah, because we still have one more area we're not getting there in time. Fine, yeah, we're not. Fine, to jump all the way down.
Winning.
Alright, so there you go, we're falling down. Yeah, there you can clear a curb. I guess a curb is... They're talking about the actual curb. C-U-R-B, not K-E-R-B, I guess, right? Yeah, we're not taking the instructions again. We know what to do. Alright. So I'll be a little more careful this time and just hit that A button. Yeah, you're hearing that. I'm just hitting it out specific, unless I'm missing the jump. Okay, that was my fault. I will say that. And most of the platforms are the moving green ones, and moving, yeah, sort of green ones. Yeah, they're corroded. Oh. Okay, fine, that's the other thing, because I'm going tight onto the cylinder here, and so I'm hitting the side of it. So that's part of it, but me hitting the jump button, that was not something I was planning. Oh yeah, in that case, yeah, get myself away from those warning things. Okay, fine. Yeah, crap. Pause it. Okay, fine. I was trying to hit the Z button to do the crouch, because you will be able to clear that. Fine, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll jump over this. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Perfect. Okay. Way better. Okay. Yeah, we're almost at the top. It's not too far. It's just that... Yeah, and then when the music gets faster, it's like Dolly Finn said when we play Tetris Attack, the idea that, hey, when that gets faster... Oh, you can grab that. Okay, I was not aware of that. Alright, that's where the end is. So we just wait on this platform and make the last jump over here. Let that extend out, and then make that jump. Make that jump, got it. Unless I fall off. Okay, I've never had that happen before. Basically, yeah, my victory is out of frame. Alright, so we're super jumper. Alright, you get flight. That is Sasuke's power. It is also the only, fine, along with the mini beast suits, the only power you have that doesn't cost money. Alright, let's show how this works. Get out here and I'll indicate. Actually, we have to go back to Zazen Town anyway to use this for the two purposes. We need to get the cucumber, and then we need to get the other thing. Actually, we'll go in here to get the other thing. So here's what happens. You hit the C up button when you're standing still with Sasuke, and hold it. You basically have a bit of a higher flight. You can only do this while you're standing, by the way, but when you hit the... And you can't do it while you're moving, but as soon as you start flying, you can basically move forward, backward, all you want. Hold that, pretty much. Any platforming challenge is going to be a thing of the past. And actually, some of the platforming challenges in the last dungeon are totally broken using this. And here is the last of the Silver Fortune Dolls before we go to endgame. Good job, Sasuke. And there's also free money over here if you need it. Alrighty, so... what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to... Alright, this is also when you come down here, the camera gets screwed up. So it gets kind of locked. If you do get in a case where it's locked, pretty much just... yeah, hit the C right button to bring the mini-map up, and just follow where the yellow rectangles are. Actually, I didn't mention that. When you pull that up, the yellow rectangles refer to doors, the red dot is you, and there might be, like, little other dots, yellow dots that refer to buildings you can go in. But not always, like here. Okay, so in order to get where we need to go, we do need to go out this way. So, they're saying that the mayor's son is up the mountain, so let's go to the mountain. Actually, I think last time the edit I put in, or find one of the links I put in the link list for one of the speedruns of this game, they used the Japanese version to do this. They're basically able to glitch yourself up there using the mini Bisu power, but I don't think you can do it. Or in this version, at least, I don't think you can. Basically, you go to the base of this, and you hit that, and if you hit it just right, you'll basically go right up there to where he is. But normally what you're supposed to do is you have to go get the flight ability and use it here. And see the, not Blair Witch, oh, fine, it's not a Blair Witch symbol. It's a kanji symbol. I'm trying to remember what symbol that is. Right, fine. Here's the priest's son, but he looks actually exactly like the priest does. He's the same model. Come all the way here. What do you want? Let's see the fire. It's beautiful, yes? Also, I had him a test play happen. If you're too far away when you talk to him, off the edge you can fall. But in this case, I'm going to say, like, fine. Do you have Kihachi's favorite item? The cucumber, right? You want it? Yes. But he's not going to give it to you for free, so you need to have 800 Rio. Since I grinded that money, that's going to be no problem. That's kind of why I grinded the money, just because I said I didn't want to get in a case of that. So yeah, give it to me. Wise purchase here. Alright, there we go. We got the quality cucumber. Thank you. Okay, so with that, we can go see Kihachi, we can get the last miracle item, and then we are going to get towards the end of the game. Way faster than I thought we were. Although, to be honest, I didn't necessarily time where this part was going to go. That being said, yeah, it should be said. Well, actually, also, if you talk to him, he'll say, like, fine, it's here. Big Sacred Fire is above here. You take a big jump to get there, which we did. So yeah, there is Mount Niuigatake. So alright, there you go. That's where we had to go for this. And that's where he said, like, yeah, you have to come back here later. So, off we go. Oh, yeah, so you can use this anywhere. It's like, yeah, fine, I could go the other way around, but I could say, like, no, I'm Sasuke, I can just fly. Alright, here we go. Alright. So, alright, give me the quality cucumber. He does have the miracle item. He didn't actually say he had it. Could have been a case where he just say that, oh, here's an item. But it's not what we're looking for. But no, this is what we're looking for. The miracle snow. It's shaped like a snowflake. I'll go into the menu and show it. Take care. So there it is. We got the snowflake, the flower, the, not Super Mario RPG heart, or star piece, and the moon. You can also go talk to Kachi again if you so desire. Here he is. Back right there. He's enjoying his nice cucumber. Eating cucumber while watching the big sacred fire. Nothing can match this. Alright, well, I'm glad you're enjoying, and hopefully you do enjoy that, particularly, my friend, as we are going to be getting ourselves ready towards endgame. We did get the last of the Silver Fortune dolls. I just want to make sure that we have everything set. Yes, I got the 4 in Festival Temple Castle, the one Nagato, Ghost Toys Castle, Iwaji Island, Wado Town here, Festival Village. Yeah, that's it. That's going to be the end of it. So, alright. Guess you're having a nice tea. So it's like, yeah, have your nice tea, getting yourself ready to go, as we're going to have a flight back to the Festival Village. And from here, we are going to the end of the game. The last dungeon is next. And then we'll see what that 100% completion reward is after that. And then, yeah, that'll basically be the show for the night. I guess I'll go into stuff later as far as the stuff with the anime, because I have the stuff with the voice performers. I don't want that to go to waste, but we'll do that a little later. Okay, you know what? Okay, we don't need to actually go sleep yet, so we're fine. And you do get a free save when you go to where you need to go next. Alright, so yeah, here we are as far as Japan is concerned. Yeah, we're getting to the point of no return. Which is why I went and got all those Silver Fortune dolls, but alright. Yeah, one more time as far as the Mount Fear music, as we go past where we were as far as the water, and go to the Stone Circle. We heard a bit about that from the people in town, but for this now, we gotta see what's going on. Oh, actually, now, since we do have Sasuke, Sasuke is going to be the favorite, really, to run the rest of this game, for the most part. Because a lot of the platform challenges that are around are going to be nothing with him around. Even puzzles they design you to use the other characters for, you can totally bust with that flight ability we got. Alright, so here's Ugo, the Stone Circle. So here we are. So what's going on in this nice stone circle? Let's take a nice look at our surroundings. And Sasuke's like, yeah, I'm gonna fall. Yeah, he'll be fine, don't worry. And you get a free save here. Alright, so let's do a save. And it's instant save. Yeah, they save you instantly here. There's no loading for this, weirdly enough. Alright, we got all the necessary miracle items. We're now going to space, yeah. Space. Did you say space? So yeah, we had space with Shadow Hearts last week. I still can't get over the fact we had space in that game. and have it still, as it is. But, yeah, here we go. This is, the Pemo God. And he's going to tell you right here, you won't be able to return to Japan after this. So basically saying that if you didn't get everything from here, make sure you go back and do it. Do you still want to go? If you say, no, we're not going, so like, yeah, come back when you're ready. But just checking my notes one more time, make sure that I have everything there. There's one gold fortune doll, and then in where we're going next. Yeah, we have 4. Let's go. Command you for your courage. And we'll be able to go to space safely on this thing, which actually... End of flashing light warning, sort of there. Which actually is not dissimilar to how the finale of the anime ended. They did go to space, though under different circumstances. That was weird, that cutting... Alright, here's the last dungeon. This is the gorgeous musical castle. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like a kabuki theater. Yeah, for a reason. Because, hey, remember, Kitty Lily and Spring Breeze Dancing want to turn Japan into a stage. They're starring with Kyushu. Well, this is going to be a case of running for momentum, so you got to go through doors. Or find to get the keys to open the doors. Alright, also, hang on a second. Whoa. You get some intense music going on here. I don't know if it's too loud as far as how the volume is. Because, yeah, whenever I look over there as far as the tech I have and see the game audio going really loud, I'm thinking like, uh-oh, that's not something I want to have running, but I think it's fine the way I had it set. I did a test play or test checks earlier today and also for the last part, so I think it should be good. I do love the finality it's getting you ready for here, and actually we're going to get a lot of interesting things happening here, because, yeah, this isn't dungeon, but there's a lot more to this place than meets the eye. As I mentioned, you do want to use the flight of Sasuke here, so yeah, Sasuke is your MVP right here. Alright, so there's the silver key. Use that to go in here. Even in the case of like, hey, you're not sure you're gonna make that jump, just use the flights. And what a wonderful reward for all the stuff I mentioned with the platforming. Is kind of helps it specific. Alright. I do love the instrumentation going here. It's so good. Oh, whoa. That's lava over there. Also, you can't use the flight or any of the powers when you're on a I'm gonna fall animation. But, can I get back up? Ow! Yes, I can. There is a ladder. Okay, so it's almost like the Mario thing where he's bouncing in the lava in Super Mario 64. Oh. Okay, oh, that looked weird. It looked like I was walking in midair when I was coming down. But yeah, it's fine. I can take the damage. I mean, it's no issue. I'm fine. I mean, just totally reckless. Well, also, because there's another dumpling over here. Yeah, because there's the gold key there, which will take us to the next room of the castle. Shit! Then again, also like the Gourmet Submarine Castle, this is a little enclosed in some ways. Fine, yeah, just keep using that and be careful using it. So yeah, even though I'm saying, yeah, use this flight power to your advantage, it's a case where it's not always going to help you, or it's like, yeah, here's what not to do when it comes to this. But yeah, with that, yeah, it'll be only a matter of time before we get over there. You see, it's funny, yeah, it'd probably just be easier just to do the jumps, normally. So yeah, what you do is basically wait till the fans spin around and then make the jump. There we go, so there's a gold key, and... Okay, fine. I was gonna say, yeah, I'll get that, but no. I guess there's nothing else. I guess I'm giving Sasuke more play, because I don't know if I've run with him that significantly. Also, you can jump up the ladders, by the way, and get up a little quicker for him. Alright, so yeah, we're in good shape. As far as where the keys, or the silver fortune dolls are, they're on the way. So what I want to do is go back down here and go out. Where we're, okay, not that far down. Oh yeah, the blades are going to shing, shing, which is a sound effect the Mega Man games around this era, like Mega Man X4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Mega Man Legends, and basically everything as far as that. They loved hearing those using those sound effects. But then they sound so nice. So in that case, I can't necessarily blame them for that. Okay, there we go. So that is where we are as far as the room. And there's the lock. Perfect. Okay, so... yeah, most of these are going to be a little ways away. Alright, there you go. So this is actually one of the areas where he's like, hey, can you bust this game specific? Sort of. Okay, you can't exactly... okay, fine, no, you sort of can here. Alright, so there's Mr. Elephant. Let's go grab him. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna last case, and there is the key we need. Yeah, you do need to use the sudden impact, sort of, but you can sort of fly over. Fine, we'll show this. So yeah, Goemon goes Super Saiyan and does that. And you know, fine, if I just jump on the block. So you're supposed to use the chain pipe to get up here, but yeah, you don't have to. You can just use the flight again. Yeah, it's a flight busts a game too. Okay, the first Seville Fortune Doll is down there on the left. Got it. Actually, a lot of them are going to be on the way, but some of them are kind of off a little bit in the periphery where it's going to be hard to find them. When I did my test play, I said, I missed one. Where is it? Actually, I had to go back, but for now, no, I don't have to go back. And the next one actually is going to be right in front of us. That's right over there. Perfect. Alright, 2 more, and then the gold fortune doll, which we'll see a little later. But it is mini BC time. So yeah, it's not just going to be Sasuke's case here. And you do need to go in here to get the key that we need. So there it is. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, the door unlocked, don't worry, it didn't sound it, but, or it didn't look it, but yeah. I guess Abisumaru is shy going indoors. Alright. Fine, you know what, I'll roll the meat hammer out, because every time you use the meat hammer, most of the time, except not that time, you will get a dumpling off of it. Or not that time either. Okay, fine, it increases your chance of getting a dumpling and recovers your health when you use it. And it's the, I think, the only weapon in the game that is optional, and you do not need it for the purpose of completion. Well, fine, no, the bazooka. You don't need to use that at all, if you don't want to. And as I said, I rarely used it. I basically just showed it where we showed it, although the next game in this line that the US got, on this system anyway, does use it much more. That's Goemon's Great Adventure, which I do have, and costs actually a bit more money than this game does, so... yeah, we can show that as the next one. Chad, it's your pick. As far as what's the one you want to see next. It'd probably be either that one or Legend of the Mystical Ninja for the Super Nintendo. Okay, fine, I don't have enough, okay, I was gonna say, I don't have enough distance to shrink myself to be safe without falling. Yeah, when I played this, from a test, I said, fine, we're not using that. But there's the diamond key, we got it. As far as the key is concerned, we have to go back here for that. Ow. Okay, so yeah, actually, you know, I don't know if we're even gonna get 3 hours of this for the rest of the game, because I realized, yeah, this is gonna be way shorter. But yeah, fine. Maybe it's one of those cases where, like with another Konami game I played for the show, Animaniacs on Super Nintendo, I practiced it so much that I was able to beat it really quickly. Okay, by the way, these doors, there's nothing to them. You have the enemies coming from that door over to this one. And to come over here and hit the switch in order to bring that down. Now, you're supposed to go over there and, you know, climb the stairs, but yeah, I'm Sasuke, I can fly. So just keep doing that. That seems like that's going to be the line. I'm Sasuke, I can fly. Alright, so yeah, we are almost done. Okay, yeah, the waves are deadly. Or they're, I guess they're, razor waves. Alright, there's the aquarium. Yeah, the next Silver Fortune Doll is up there, and, it's It's something I missed when I was doing my test, so I was like, wait, where is this thing? It is right here, or right above here. So, I can't go up that way. So what I gotta do is you gotta jump right here. Get yourself in a case where you're not, you know, stumbling. Fly up there, climb up, and here it is. Alright, one more. Also, you can swim down there. I believe there's a life. In fact, you know, let's go get it. Not that I need it, but let's go get it anyway. Ow. Fine, there's health. Actually, I thought there was a surprise back down. Oh yeah, there is, right here. So yeah, lives are increased to 9. Okay, awesome. And I believe 0 just counts as a life. Though honestly, even when I was growing up playing this game, I never got a game over. Because unlike Zelda, it's a case where when you run out of hearts, you have a life. Where Zelda, it's not that. It's like, no, it's game over for you. Also over here is, Mr. Arrow one last time. Yeah, he's optional. You don't have to take him. Although feasibly, I guess you could go through this entire game without taking any of them. Or either him or, Mr. Elephant. Okay, here's a bit of a twist. Because remember, Kyushu was taken away. That's where we are. So we're going to town. With these Rose enemies, they're a pain in the ass. Because when the Rose hits you, the Rose gets on you. You take 3 hits of damage. You cannot get rid of it until, I find I get 4 hits of damage that way. You cannot get rid of it. There's no way to make that go away. But we have shops in town as well, so you can go there. Like, hey, if you think you need to recover yourself, or I want to see if there's a limitation on the number of lives you can have in this game, which I'm going to. Okay, you cannot increase the number of players past what you already have. Okay, so 9 is your limit. Okay, gotcha. Or 10, technically. We don't need these rice bowls, honestly, because I still have the ones from the beginning of the game. But alright. So, yeah, the people from Kyushu were taken up here, so what do they think of what's going on? I woke up this morning, town looks so different. But he doesn't care. He's running musicals twice a day at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. All the same content, but keep seeing it anyway. No, I want to talk to you. This is where Sogan town of Bizen used to be. But it's become really strange. It makes you want to yell, this is nothing like Kyushu. Then again, this is the only time we see Kyushu. Sort of, as we could get this great kind of jazz music. Or not jazz, it's kind of like this, fine, it's kind of like the traditional Japanese sound, but also just this kind of big band kind of sound of the trumpets and stuff. Alright, here's the hotel. If you need to use the hotel, general business, nobody comes here. Stop being a merchant and become a music star. I saw the musical of Peach Mountain Shoguns yesterday. Dancing's great. Shogun Town has become with now an instant. So yeah, it was instant stage beam, remember that. No idea how we're gonna manage from now on, but fine, we're gonna take a nap. Yeah, we're living the high life now with all the money. It's gorgeous, wonderful, fantastic. Yeah, let's go. I take us to a room. There is, Yai getting fanned that way. Morning. See you again. Yeah, we sort of will see you again. Actually, you know what we'll also do? We'll save. I'll save the present situation in the adventure diary. Okay, so this is the only place in the game, I think, that they have the dialogue running that way. Alright, but yeah, save the game, friend. Thank you. Hope to come back. I don't know if I'm gonna make that promise, but we're gonna... Fine, if we do come back, we'll come back when you're on the grounds. Although, fine, you can't go here when you're on the ground after you beat the game. Because the last place they give you is where the last save is, sort of, out. Okay, so Yai's not having a good time, but I'm also not doing a good job avoiding those roses. He'll throw them out in a circle like that, just kind of goad them into throwing them out, and then, go from there. Okay. Alright, let's go in, to this place. Oh, hey, look at this. Well, fine, we'll talk to you in a second. Okay, so yeah, that girl's imitating Kitty Lily. Young women seem to go to the Peach Mountain musical quite a bit, or the same in other towns. Yeah, Omitsu, here she is, remember her? Oh, Goemon! Who actually, fine, I can go into this context now. In the anime, I have written down for Amitsu is voiced by Kira Vincent Davis. This is the dub case specifically, the subtitle version for Japan. Who is Anna Hart on Kaleido Star, Kaleido Star. Miyu Yamazaki on Super Gals, which I used to see Right Stuff Anime promoting a lot when they were releasing that in the 2000s. And Komi Natsuki in Sakura Diaries, which is this anime that's based on a manga by this guy Ujin, which I've seen this anime. It's just kind of a short series, kind of somewhere between an OVA and a short, run of something like this one of 23 episodes. It's kind of more adult-based. His stuff tends to be very heavily adult-based as it is. This one's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's been so long since I've seen it. I don't know if I actually like it that much. I just remember it's like, oh yeah, that name. I saw that at one point in my life. But it's also been this case of watching that Goemon anime. I actually was watching it, basically binging episodes of that. Like I mentioned, when I was going to play this, when we only played this last month, saying I was going to do that. As I said, we're going to talk that. I basically just was coming home from work at the end of the day after I did everything I needed to, including stuff for edits for the show. I said, alright, fine. I'm going to put in the anime, just kind of sit down on my couch, watch it. And it was this great kind of happy return as far as like elements of this, my past of anime watching. To the point where it's the kind of thing that when this anime ended, even though it's only 23 episodes, I kind of felt sad because I felt that, okay, I'd kind of lived with this for a bit of time. I was kind of sad that it wasn't going to be anymore, but almost maybe rekindled my perspective as far as anime is concerned, which I guess this game kind of gave a little bit of an indication to me 25 years ago. So I guess at this point, I gotta get another anime addiction specific. Okay, fine. I guess Nikki, this is gonna be for you this way because I guess at this point I don't have an excuse to not to go back to One Piece or not to go back to One Piece. Yeah, with enough episodes of it, I'll probably get into the same case as that one. Well, I guess maybe any anime, but I mean, it might be like any TV shows. Like, hey, if it goes off in directions you don't like or it doesn't end satisfactory or in a satisfactory way, this one does. You're thinking like, okay, fine, we're good that way. But okay. Alright, Goemon. Oh, so Hiyomitsu. So yeah, they are kind of indicating that there's a little bit of a connection that way. And of course, as we've talked in the show before, in the anime of this, Goemon is voiced by Vic Mignogna. Yeah, very famous name, who is Edward Elric on Fullmetal Alchemist. Although, weird enough, IMDb did not credit him for the Goemon anime. I was like, why not? He does a great job. It's a different take on Goemon, a little, as far as the voice. Well, we've never heard him in English, as far as a voice performance, so I don't really have much to compare it to outside of the Japanese stuff. But on top of that, he was also Broly in Dragon Ball Z. I also got my notes here. Speaking of One Piece, Captain Nizumi, as well as Ikaku on Bleach, and when we get to Persona 3, he is Junpei Iori in that game. And I also found out he was the voice of Bubsy in the modern Bubsy games, which were Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back and Bubsy Paws on Fire. And he also is the current voice of E123 Omega. He's been that way since the DS version of Sonic Colors and was with Sonic Forces as well. And we get to Sonic Forces, I have the DLC that goes with that has it. So yeah, we can hear Edward Elric specifically, or Goemon as far as that point. And actually, I liked his take on Goemon as far as how it was. Right, Amitsu, glad you're okay. I didn't know what happened when I saw Kyushu fly away. Yeah, it surprised me at the time too, but I'm alright. Sorry to have worried you. Yeah, but what about Kyushu? What's going on here? As far as Yai in the anime, this is probably a good time as any to go into this. Why not? She was voiced by Jessica Boone, as far as the dub, who voiced Chiyo Mihama on Azumanga Daioh. So that was a pretty big name. And actually, Rue on an anime I've mentioned, and one I think I gotta get back to watching again. I've had it for a while, I've seen a good amount of it, but it's also been a while. Princess Tutu, which, given the sound of it, I think I mentioned this when we played Guitar Me, and I said, you'd think with the setup like that is about ballet dancing, would it be appealing? But the answer is yes. It's very appealing. It's not necessarily a long run either. It's like 26, 7 episodes. But it's really good stuff. It looks beautiful. The voice performance is really good. And it is the kind of thing that really draws you into that world and the unique things they're doing with it. But also, on top of that, she was Mary and Shelley Godwin in the animation based on Xenosaga, which I know that's a favorite of Chasm22 specific. And also one that kind of took me back. Not that I ever saw this, but I always saw this on G4 being advertised, which was, she was the voice of Arumi on Magical Shopping Arcade at Benabashi. Which always sounded to me, it almost looked like that scene anime perspective, like the 2000s. Almost like How the World Ends With You would be. But yeah, that was the case of her. These mountains in Sage Beam hit the place and increased. Now we gotta do something quickly. Sasuke is another case for me to find the voice performance. I actually put the DVD in again because IMDb didn't credit him. Yeah, where is he? Sasuke is voiced by Greg Ayers, who is Koyuki and Tanaka Yukio on Beck, the anime. Actually, I remember seeing. I'll try and dig this out for the link list. This AMV anime music video set to Juke Box Hero by Foreigner, because that's all about a guy who wants to play guitar, and it is good stuff. And he was also Kaoru Hitachin on Oran High School Host Club, which I know people going back into my community college days who adored that show. And something you'd think I'd seen but haven't, the Shenmue anime. He's the voice of Chai in the anime based on that, which I need to see that, because hey, I'm the Shenmue person for sure, and we're gonna play that eventually, but I think the way schedule's looking, I don't think we're gonna be able to start until next year, but we will, for sure. And on top of that, Greg Ayers was also the voice of Koji Koda. Actually, he's currently the voice of Koji Koda on My Hero Academia. So we got some big anime names going on in this. Just imagine they continue to do this to all Japan, though. Yeah, by the way, where you're dancing in Lily? I don't know, but let's talk BC Mario as far as that anime too. He's voiced by Chris Patton on that, who is also on Princess Tutu as Fakir, as well as Jachiro Nishi on Gantz, or Gantz, I guess we Gantz as far as pronunciation. And as far as game stuff, he did voices in Unlimited Saga for the PlayStation 2 as Ventus, and he is also Lindhart in Fire Emblem Three Houses for the Switch. I heard that they were behind the doors right ahead of us. Okay, so yeah, not too far now. But the door's rigid, it's not gonna be open easily. Then I'll huff, I'll puff, and I'll blow the place down. Yeah, I don't think you will. I don't have time for dumb jokes, or Sasuke not being a fan of nursery rhymes. Or, I don't know, maybe if we show him the Warner Brothers cartoon, The Three Little Bops, which basically takes the three little pigs and turns them into jazz musicians with this amazing jazz music. Like, maybe that would change his turn, or his tune. I know. Someone's gonna be able to help us. Who? He's at the restaurant. And the restaurant, by the way, is next door. I think she'll say that. Find the person who can help us at the restaurant. Oh, she'll just say the restaurant. Alright, fine, let's go in there. Okay, so here's the restaurant. Alright, so we have that guy there. We can buy stuff. I also have a nice sponge cake from the Netherlands. And we've had enough. But yeah, look who's here. Well, actually, fine, let's talk to you. Do young women prefer the flashy men like dancing? Maybe she's wearing makeup. Alright, so the idea of, getting in touch with his feminine side, but... Yeah, Wise Man, remember him? Here he is, Monashiri, as he was called in the anime. Who on the anime... he was voiced by Jim McClellan, whose voice credits, I did not find much on him. He was the voice of the Grim Reaper on Sister Princess, and then he was also Larry on Eria, ERIA 88, and Zerbebuth on Guyver the Big Boosted Armor. But it's not much. He's good as far as this, and as we mentioned last time, the idea that they call him Uncle, that was Electros indicating, and he's right, they do. But I think the idea is that he's the grandfather of Amitsu, as far as the show is concerned. Everyone else kind of calls him Grandpa, sort of. I mean, I know Yai does, but I mean, I don't know if it's a question of the translation, because... And we're gonna see here, they toned down with the anime cases, because he is definitely a bit of a pervert. It's the Master Roshi case from Dragon Ball Z, or a lot of other animes, and that he wants pretty girls to the point where he actually invents Sasuke to, basically go around and take pictures of girls to take back to him. Specifically, even he's questioning the mission, like, why am I doing this? He's like, this is part of your training. He's like, I don't know if this is part of your training. Even then later, he's like, you don't think I prefer old man? It's like, that's exactly what I think. So, like, they're not afraid to necessarily say something, but Wiseman is also the kind of guy who, he's pretty much able to kind of come up with some stuff to get people out of bad situations, even by accident. In this one episode where, I guess it's something Japan does, I'm not sure anybody out there wants to correct me on this, or confirm this is right. There's the Valentine's Day episode of the anime. There's a couple of holiday episodes. There's that, and there's also a Christmas one. But the Valentine's Day one, apparently in Japan, there's a tradition that women give chocolates to the men that mean a lot to them, whether they're in a romantic or a platonic relationship or both. And everybody wants to get chocolate from somebody. So Wiseman says, okay, let me make these robots that can go out and basically ask women to give him some chocolate, because like then they'll want to talk to him. And this is one of the funniest things as far as he basically comes up, as far as these robots, just walks around with them, and they basically program just to say, give me chocolate, give me chocolate, give me chocolate. And eventually somebody says like, what are these things? Like, you know, maybe if we just give him a box of chocolate, it'll go away. They give the box of chocolate, and he says like, oh, and then he changes the voice dialogue on the robot, saying like, can I have your name, address, and home telephone number so Monashiri can meet you? It's like, what the hell is this? So they kind of try to take the chocolate back. It's actually really funny for that specifically. But yeah, here he is. Yeah, what are you doing here? Yeah, old man, Wiseman, overjoyed to see you. So yeah, you died, right, at the explosion? No, he didn't. He lived. Yo, who is the spirit the witch called for us? Because, yeah, we did see the spirit of Monashiri. I'll call him that way. He's that Monashiri or old man, or wise man, I should say. So, what happened? But yeah, he's saying, like, okay, fine, we might have been lied to, but I guess the witch knew something. Oh, no, the witch even admitted, like, basically, I had a leg up on everybody because I read the script of this game. Fair enough, but why are you here? Well, I was caught by the Peach Mountain guys. I get mechanical robots and instant stage beams, so basically he was forced to make the mechanical elements for them, which goes to the anime, which also has that too. In exchange for a muscle car poster and 5 car magazines. That is not what this is in the Japanese version. And watching the anime makes sense as far as it... Because basically, since he wants to, you know, be around women specifically, he's basically given a pretty girl poster and hentai magazines. And that's what this had in the Japanese version of this game. But when they released it here, they said, fine, we're not going to put that in. We're going to change that to car magazine. So, like, he likes his cars. I mean, look, I get that idea, but it also throws a little bit of wrench into the question of what time period is this? Which, that was a great question Lectors had, for sure, when it came to this. That's what I've been thinking about more and more before we did the show tonight. Me thinking that, okay, yeah, he does love his cars, but how does that make sense? Like, the pretty girls makes more sense, especially because of how the anime logic goes, or the anime's continuity is running. But yeah, he was traded that way, and he took it, but there you go. He's like, what? So actually, yeah, this joke makes way more sense in the Japanese version, and it's also kind of reverse of how Mega Man Legends went on this console, where Mega Man Legends changed the erotic book into a comic book, but they didn't change the cover. This game, they changed the references to hentai into car magazines or muscle car stuffs. But I don't know, I mean, maybe a sexy Corvette would turn anybody on. Yeah, I strongly resist it, but they forced me to make them. So yeah, the laugh doesn't necessarily make sense the way it's translated. But yeah, that's the background, and people do know that now. So yeah, I'll toss my hat in the ring for that. Yeah, the mechanics of this seem familiar as far... And he's talking about the robots and the stage beam and all that. So it's not a case of like the cars thing. This makes sense. So yeah, because Monashiri has the technical skills. I don't know what to say though. But look, if they kidnapped you, why did they blow your house up? But he didn't know they blew up his house. Like, what happened? So at the beginning of the game, his house got blown up. But all my porno. Or all my car magazines. But yeah, so he's mad now. Who would do such a thing? The people you gave these things to, by the way. It wasn't probably them, it was them. We know that for a fact. I mean, they admitted it to us. Yeah, they did it. Yeah, wise men just flatly saying, I will not forgive them. Yeah, okay. But by coming here, and you do need to come here in order to complete the game, we're getting another upgrade to our weapons. Okay, so we got level 3 weapons. They're, gold. And they will open that door. These weapons, even richer doors, will be destroyed to these. Do you feel this journey is taking some wild turns? Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so yeah, what are you gonna do? Go get him, take revenge for my poor porno. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that because that's what it is. But alright, fine. And he does have a bigger reach. I don't think I mentioned that with the level 2 stuff. Yeah, this case is pretty far off. And it goes to their main weapons. It does not change anything in regards to their special stuff like the meat hammer and anything else. Okay, so in that case, yeah, you have a bigger range as far as the kunais. And there's Yai's sword. Yeah, that has some great reach. Alright, so yeah, he was here. I do love that idea as well. Okay, so what we gotta do next, we gotta go in here. And this case, yeah, just slice those things in half, they die in one hit. Okay, so yeah, what you normally need to do is actually not... Let me see if I can't show this. Yeah, so my other weapons wouldn't do anything. Throwing the money wouldn't do anything. Even burn the wood down wouldn't do anything. But hitting that, boom, it blows up. And now we're going to the next part of the gorgeous musical castle. We get this great music here as far as this heavy guitar stuff going on with this kind of digital sound going on with it and stuff, as well as we're getting rid of the feet. We'll get something out of a Tim Burton movie. Alright, the gold fortune doll is in here. See the painting of dancing? This is a preview to Super Mario 64, or Flashlight Warning, and also Super Mario Sunshine, we'll get to that, is in here. That's a gold fortune doll, that's it. Increased by 1. Alright, last silver fortune doll is on the way in. Yeah, fine, I'll put flashlight warnings on that as well. Okay, so we have to go down here, but before we do, we have to go all around. Talk about the finality case here. We're definitely in a finality case going on as well. And as we go along later, I'll also talk about the human characters, because as I mentioned, as far as the Goemon anime is concerned with that. Legend of the Mystical Ninja. That's what it's called. It was released by ADV Films. I actually bought it when it was at Otakon back in 2008. It's actually been a long time since I've had it, watched it, or since I've watched it. But, yeah, there you go. Actually, wait, yeah, what I'm doing, I got my flight. And yeah, you do have the little jetpack going on with Sasuke with that. It just kind of appears that way. Well, in this case, yeah, I gotta see where I'm going. I can't see here with the way the camera is. Okay, actually, no, I can't go this way. I have to go the front way. Okay, actually, it's right here. It's perfect, okay. Oh, wait, this is the same room. So basically, I just have to avoid going this way. Alright, so I'm glad I got to show this, and I guess more than anything, this doesn't sound wrong, but I guess padding time specific. Because like, wait, look, I don't know if there's going to be a super short part, although, fine. For editing purposes, it might be better if it is, because at that point, then I won't have as much time I have to put to edits. Which is not to say, as I don't know if I've actually mentioned the specific, that I have a problem when it comes to long parts that I have to edit. Just that, hey, I have to manage what I'm doing as far as doing the edit. Yeah, see that nice gold block? Yeah, I remember we had to use that in order to make the reaches here. Yeah, you don't have to anymore. Just use the flight. Alright. Alright, so actually, no, fine. We'll sit here and wait to do this, because, yeah, I want to drink water. Alright. As you're hearing this music, as I said, the thing about this music, it almost sounds like a Mega Man game a little bit. Alright, so actually, you do need to use the flight here. Again, high-quality music here, as far as the instrument samples. It sounds like real instruments, and I love it. And you know what, fine, I do want to use the sudden impact here. Fine, you can not use it. I didn't use it in test play, but when you run this, you can push those blocks. Oh, shit. Ow! Okay, fine, it's not gonna matter because of how I'm operating this. Uh-oh. Actually, that also probably is bad that I fell in the lava, because, yeah, one thing I don't think I really indicated, ow, is when you're running in double impact mode, you take double damage when you get hit. But you also cause double damage when you hit something. Okay, fine, it is turning out like test play then anyways. Fine, I'd probably just use the, burn. Fine. The only person I don't think we've burned yet has been, fine, you know what, everybody's getting burned, sorry. Call it a battle scar, there is Yai getting burned, sorry. Also, yeah, I can afford to be reckless, doesn't really matter right now. Whoa. We're gonna jump over the side, either way. Basically just looking at the key to go in the center, so it's not too much, it's to kind of go around. Honestly, I think the Festival Temple Castle was the place where it was the most labyrinthian. Because honestly, I'll say this and the Gourmet Submarine Castle are kind of linear to some degree. I mean, they're branching rooms, yes, but nothing that's necessarily going to be super taxing. Ow! Fine, we're going up here and just wait. Actually, you know, I'll show this. When you do crouch, I forgot you can attack by hitting the B button when you're crouched. And Sasuke extends his hair out. Judge, I don't know if I actually had ever done that before until I was doing the test. Yeah, he's like, fine, I'm gonna crawl down there, I'm gonna hit them with this. Oh, you can also use your, special weapons. You know, fine, I'll use that. Okay, so you basically use every weapon you got, although actually one thing I'm wondering. Yeah, in his case, yeah, he's on his back, but he's like, yeah, he's like, fine, I'm gonna just blind hit the camera, or blind hit the, the hammer. Oh, he even takes a picture, while lying down. It's like, yeah, he saw a bird he saw a bird there or something. Okay, so the bombs as well. Alright, so you can alright, so, one thing I'm wondering. Okay, fine, I can't play the flute when I'm, doing that, although there's no reason to play the flute anyway. Okay, so yeah, there's the diamond key. We got what we needed. Just go out the other side. And then the last silver fortune doll is within that. Actually, when we get that, it's gonna be full health recovery anyway. So I can pay to be reckless, or just get that and we're fine. Or I take a nice slide down here. Whoa! Yeah, I didn't get as many coins this way as I did on my tests, but either way. Look, it's like I grind all the money we needed off screen, so fine. I do want to try and make these jumps. Alright, I was gonna say, I'll do it legitimately. I was like, no, I won't. Fine. Okay, fine. Yeah, I had to say, like, no, I'll do it legitimately. Okay, if you miss, you just have to jump here. Because, yeah, usually, mostly now, don't get cases where you're gonna have, like, going into a pit, dying. Or fine, losing health that way. Whoa! Okay, got it. Alright, so we're almost out. In fact, that is the front, and we can go in this way. Jeez, I'm gonna be finishing this game way sooner than I thought I would, but alright. So this is where we gotta go, and the last silver fortune doll. Ooh. No, we don't wanna go back. There's no turn back now, Sasuke, sorry. Gotta do it for Wise Man, and for Mitsu, and for all of Japan. Yeah, go down this path that takes you down furthest in the basement here. Ow. Actually, one thing we didn't see is... we didn't see the map in here. Because there's a basement, and that's that. Alright, so that's fine. Actually, one thing I'm wondering is that... okay, no, it still holds it. Alright, oh, I even need to switch character. Fine, you know, last, hurrah for this to take Goemon. Oh, whoa! Is that supposed to happen? Okay. I didn't know that, alright. So it changes the area down here. Okay, as I said, I've never gotten all of the Silver Fortune dolls ever in my life. This is my first time seeing this. Just to indicate that. So it's sometimes a question we sometimes ask, which is like, when I do practice for games or when we play games, have I played the game to death, or how much of a game is going to be a blind play? And the answer is, it depends on certain things. In this case, no, it's me. This part is blind for me. I never had this happen before. I never did this specific. So yeah, I'm seeing this for the first time myself, so I'm getting that reaction. We sort of had that with the Game Dev Tycoon preview we did last week, which I will be archiving. Depending on how short this part is, I might archive it this week. Now I'm thinking about it. I was going to say I'll do it closer when we do that play at the end of the month, but I might do it at that case, or sooner than that, where I did stuff that I never did before. And the Pokemon Violet plays, like, I've never played that game before. We're going that blind for the reasons that I've indicated. And I'll remind you again with the schedule when we get to the end. Alrighty, so we're almost there. So here's the last challenge. Well, fine, the last challenge for the last boss. We have a cylinder room. There are holes in the floor. Also, because there's a slope, and this game handles slopes very weird as far as that, like, a lot of 3D platformers at this time tend to. Yeah, you don't want to be stuck and fall in the pit, because, yeah, you will get yourself hurt. In that case, you want to run quickly so you don't slide into the hole there. Yeah, you take your time, should be good. Ow. Okay, yeah, looks like I was flying there. Okay. Here is the main hall entrance of Peach Mountain. Let's go. Alright, we're getting our show. So yeah, what has been going on? They say, hey, they do a show every day. Alright, hi, we're dancing. Let's take care of this. This is our stage. Fernandez, like, yeah, for the last time, that's not my name, it's Goemon. You behave yourself, Fernandez. It'll be last to stop anyway. What do you mean? Well, we experienced his secret powers. What's the extra confidence I sense? I don't know what he's talking about, but they can't defeat us. Yeah, you're right. I don't see any way they could beat us. Don't be so sure of yourselves. All you have to do is join our two forces together. That'll be history. Actually, I'm gonna let you hear this. Starting now, we make you our diehard fans. Not diehard fans of the movie, but yeah, they're gonna keep going. Yeah, there's one more vocalized song. This is an original one. I'm gonna keep, actually, I'm gonna mute the mic on this one, I think. What is this? Listen to this song. Alright, and the dance as well. I'll be back in just a minute. Hope you enjoy. Yeah, it's an opera. I bet you didn't expect that. I didn't expect that when I first played this and got here. Yeah, that was Gorgeous My Stage, which was sung by Toshihiro Tachibana and Etsuyo Oda. Interesting stuff as far as them. There's not many credits I found with them, but Toshihiro Tachibana, he did vocal direction on the PSP version of Echo Chrome, as well as the bass chorus stuff for Pandora's Tower on the Wii, and this goes to something Casual22, who came in for the last part of this one, likes to indicate. He's a big fan of Final Fantasy XIV. He did chorus work for Final Fantasy XIV's music, specifically for Heaven's Ward, I think it is. I think I took it down. Yeah, Heaven's Ward. So that's one of the expansions, I believe. I've not played Final Fantasy XIV that much. And actually, Etsuyo Oda actually did chorus work for Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. So that's the idea, and actually also chorus work for Final Fantasy XIII too. So yeah, that's an interesting case as far as some of the stuff I found with them. I had to dig on that one, but yeah, there you go. That's how you got Gorgeous My Stage, the opera number. So yeah, if you're thinking like, where's opera in gaming come from? We sort of had, I guess, with that Maestro a little bit. Well, haven't we ever get to Final Fantasy VI? But yeah, for the time being, we got it here, and yeah, it's kind of glorious. So I was like, I want to keep my mouth shut on that one, just to let you enjoy. Yeah, but I can't believe this. But if Isamaru's liking what he heard, uh-oh. The guy's saying, no, it wasn't that good. Yeah, where'd Dancing the guys go? I mean, they did a good job as far as what they're doing, but it's like, well, fine, we have other stuff we gotta deal with. There are villains. The place is blowing up again. Yeah, they reactivated the time bomb and ran. Alright, so this is the last save point in the game. And when the bomb goes off, or it's gonna go off, there's gonna be trouble unless we call Impact. So here's Impact once more. Yeah, so we get to hear this song once more. And yeah, I guess in this case, give my final respect specifically to Mr. I have his name from last part that I mentioned.
魂がうなる俺は機械だ鉄人だ今解き放てよ鋼の魂悪い奴らをぶち壊せ必殺限界パワーだ百裂パンチ俺はゴージャスインパクト
Yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Ichiro Mizuki, and thank you for giving us this wonderful piece of music. It will never be forgotten in the eyes of SuperOldGameSaturday or myself. Or, yeah, the watchers of the show as well. Okay. So last challenge, yeah, we're running out of the space base. Well, fine, it's sort of a space base now, but we didn't really see the case of it. Also, okay, fine, here's what happens here. Along with the doors you have to hit down, and me getting hit there, you have the wire, well, fine, you have tripwires and holes in the ground, so you gotta be careful of that. And you want to get as much Rio and gasoline or oil as you can for this one. This is definitely the hardest of the Goemon Impact bosses. And it does run in the same amount of time as the other ones. Basically, you hear the song vocalized when you first, before you come in. You get a full run of it unvocalized or instrumental. Boom. As yeah, he's collapsing, but we'll live. And yeah, if you fall right where the hole is, you might just skate over it while you're flashing. Oh, crap. But yeah, even when you fall, you still get some energy there. And then after it repeats it once, that's what we're going to be running our way on. So you do hear the whole instrumental version and the whole vocalized version of the song. Okay, yeah, even though I fell a lot, my energy is still pretty good. And since we're out here, yeah, we're going to space to fly. Alright, Impact, let's take care of him. Alright, this is Balbera. This is the Peach Mountain battleship. This is the final boss. It has two phases. Well, sort of two phases. There's also a case you might want to use your Rio to get rid of the cannons. Also, if you're running out, you can punch the orbs that the flowers drop out. In this case, yeah, tap the Z button for that. Uh-oh. Also, you get cases of the lasers coming out. Double tap the C left, C right button to bring up your fists. Basically, you double tap it and hold on the second tap. And you hold your arms out that way. Oh, shit. Also, the other thing is, yeah, there are parts of this that you can hit. So, yeah, whenever it's flashing, just keep shooting. And also, you don't get Rio, by the way, if you shoot the orbs with the Rio. Yeah, for now, yeah, don't necessarily be afraid to use it, but if you run out, you can just keep replenishing. Oh yeah, also he has a thing down there. You can also hit him with the pipe, hitting the R button. That'll do damage as well, but you do have a bit of a delay. Yeah, what I want to do is basically hit right there so it opens itself up. And what you want to do is you want to time the laser if you can so that it hits that way. Remember, you're moving on your own with impact, so you need to be careful about that. And use the quick punch, by the way, for that. Okay, yeah, that's what you want to do. You basically have to remember that when you do the laser, you charge it for the laser, you can't move your reticle anymore. So basically get your reticle in place, and as Goemon Impact is moving, you have to be ready to know where it's going to be, where it's going to stop. Oh yeah, in that case, yeah, you can get tons of Rio doing this. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I just got that barely on the line. If you don't hit in the middle, you're not getting it. And do that 3 times for that. You can also use the pipe, by the way, if you just want to hit him that way. And since I didn't remember how to do the Goemon Impact combos, actually, beat the game doing that. Alright, that should do it. But we're not done because we have one more thing for this. I do have tons of money, if nothing else. And also, if I do die this next part, we start this next part over again. We don't have to do this again. Unless I run out of lives by 10, so it's not happening. Alright, so we destroyed that, but we got one more thing. Alright, here we go. The final boss. Toil, the Fairy of Love and Dreams. Now, this is a tougher boss than a lot of the other ones, and okay, you do get a little bit of an oil recovery. You also be careful of when you see the Rio getting sort of close, start punching. And also, don't expect to always be able to pull him in. And if you do, make sure you punch him right away, because his recovery is really quick. And when he does that, make sure to punch him away. Okay, I did kick him that way, okay. I'm trying to do the rapid punch, or the rapid punch. What you have to do is if you do hook him when he's not using the shield, you want to make sure you complete that combo right as he appears in front of you. Because otherwise he'll get out of the way. So you have to be really quick on the draw with that. And if he gets into a case like that, the thing with the tail, use the money. You can use the Rio. Don't be afraid to use it, because yeah, I got tons of it. And remember, each time you hit that, you will recover it. But yeah, if I might be dying here, honestly. Don't necessarily be afraid to take your time on this one. They're not timed. If it does that, just shoot him with the money. Because that'll at least stun him a little. Okay, fine, I hit him in the crotch either way. No one necessarily said that Goemon Impact was was not a dirty fight. Oh, fine. He never really was. Yeah, but I kind of knew that was going to happen. He was not going to play nice. Yeah, if you never hook him on with anything, make sure you do that, but it's not easy to do it. Okay. Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, I timed that just right. And it's not easy to time that. Yeah, the Rio does not do much damage, as we're pointing out, but if it does stop his attacks, it's worth doing that. Uh-oh. Alright, I'm in trouble. I actually didn't show this before. Okay, fine. Alright, I showed dying. Yeah, when you get into low health, Goemon Impact gets, dark that way, and you run out of health, you're dead. But you do start this part of the battle again, so you don't have to do the other thing. And you know, it runs on your lives, but you can't see your lives, so that's one thing worth pointing out. Yeah, I do have more oil coming in, so actually that's pretty good. Yeah, some of these attacks can take off more of it. And then you want to look for your openings for the laser, but yeah, you honestly want to wait a little bit till it gets down to below 1,000 to do that. Or do the 3-hit combo if you can. You can't always hook him, it's worth pointing that out, because then he'll... Alright, when he runs with the shield... Yeah, do the hard punch, because then it knocks the shield away. Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna be too bad. Yeah, basically just coming in, I made sure to hit the C up, C down, C up, and A, just so I get that punch running. Because that's the most... If you can't do the mouth laser, you can't pull that out, that is your most powerful attack, and it doesn't run on the bars in the middle. Oh, I hit him just below. It's something to be a little bit of a waiting game with him, just to see, like, what's he gonna do, and can you get a bit of an opening. Okay, yeah, in that case I didn't do fast enough, so he ran away. Alright, so I did take a little bit of damage that way. Okay. Actually, yeah, I can't even see a lot of the orbs on that one. Alright, fine. For that, you get punched. Oh yeah, we're in good shape. We almost got him. It looks like he's vulnerable there. I mean, it looks like you're vulnerable there, but just use the laser. You'll hit right through. That is when you want to use it. Because it'll break him out, and he won't move. Fine, I punched him just once, but that's fine. Basically take what you can get in this boss, in all honesty. The other one attack he hasn't done yet, but if he... Oh wait, I don't have enough to do that. Fine, I get to show this, yeah, you have to punch the asteroids out. Or out of the way. Yeah, you want to use the fast punch for a lot of this stuff, because the other one you'll have too much of a pause to handle it. If you just keep hitting that B button. And just cut right through that. Perfect. And that's it, we got him. That is the way to end. Alright, so that is the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this cannot be. Yeah, how could a big star like me lose like this? Yeah, I'll literally say, like, yeah, I knew you'd fuck up. Yeah, Fernandez. Like, yeah, my name's not Fernandez for the final time. We have one. He's saying, don't think we have. Well, in the instant stage beams are under control, we can just do this all over. Yeah, turn Japan into the stage, but, yeah, I think let's put an end to this, shall we? So he's taking the Knuckles perspective. Shut up! Your evil plans will end as of now. And my name's not Fernandez. Or Fernandez. I say Fernandez. It was like, no, it's not Fernandez. It's Fernandez. It's me, Goemon! Alright, Impact, take him down. Yeah, so another laser to the face. Alright, so bye-bye to Spring Breeze Dancing and Kitty Lily. And that part runs at 60 FPS, which is interesting, but alright, bye-bye. And they go into the star case like a lot of animes, and actually like with the Goemon anime when it came to not just Seppa Kimura, but also Mudanashi, Dr. Mudanashi, who's one of the other villains there, who basically is about... He hates the fact that humans are so wasteful and breaks them out in hives. You look how far he's flown through space. Now he is a star, but not in the way he was expecting. Alright, we did it. So yeah, let's set a course for home. Actually, in the anime, it's interesting how the ending of this goes. I won't spoil it, but also how it ties to the human character in that show, who is Tsukasa Ishikawa, who in that anime is voiced by Tiffany Grant, who is Clara Sparks in Deus Ex 2 Invisible War, Haruka on Sister Princess, and actually, in my case, she was involved with the OVA of the Gunsmith Cats, as Becky Farr, who's kind of the informant to the main characters of Minnie Mae Hopkins and Raleigh Vincent. I'll put a picture of that specific, because I do love that series. It's very great as far as Chicago, as far as how it's set, too. But alright. Mitsu's still in space, so wait, we forgot about her. But, I guess, the case of that is that Kyushu is, going back to where it needs to be. So it's the reverse, Angel Island from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And the time bomb set by Danson probably was, yeah, took out the control device of the castle, and here it is back. Yeah, it's too good to be true, but we did it. But first, let's go pick up, Monashiri and Amitsu. Yeah, let's, go do that. So let's get going. Yeah, before we do... Alright, yeah, I guess our exploits got a lot of women really excited. So look at our adoring fans. Now we're pulling from Monoshiri, I guess, the cute girl perspective. Oh, and I guess as far as the other continuity, Amitsu isn't here. But yeah, they like the fact that, yeah, we're heroes who saved Peach Mountain. But why have they been so happy? I don't know. They're noticing how good looking you are, right? Alright, calm down, don't worry. We'll let you have autographs, don't worry. Just start the line in front of us, you'll be fine. Well, in their case, I don't get the sense they're perverted. It's just the fact, like, hey, they like their adoring fans, but... Yeah, I was noticing, they're not stopping. What's going on here? Yeah, they're mad! Like, wait, what's going on here? What have you done to dancing? Yeah, the also beautiful song of Dancing and Lil, you destroyed it. Alright, so... Yeah, thanks to you, little bastards. So, alright... They're mad at us for beating the final boss. So, yeah, that was a shock. Alright, fine, we're getting our way out. So, yeah, that was unique as far as the ending. And that is the Mystical Ninja starring Goemon for the Nintendo 64. We got a little more to go because I got all the Silver Fortune Dolls and Gold Fortune Dolls, so we're gonna get that 100% reward. But yeah. After 2 years, I said we're going to be getting back to this game. We are back to this game, and we've finished it. So, we're going final thoughts on this game. This game has a lot of technical elements, as I mentioned. Stuff with frame rate, stuff with camera, stuff with collision detection that's off. The crash bug that we thankfully didn't see. I don't know if that's an isolated thing. It might be, it might not be. But that being said, even with those misgivings, and they are legitimate ones... This game is a very special one to me, and I have a lot of admiration for it. And it meant a lot to me growing up, as far as getting my cultural element going on. And even the idea of, as I said, this game is something that it has no fear of the kind of thing that it is. The atmosphere it has, how strange it is. And it wears its cultural influences on its sleeve that made it infectious to me, as far as something unique from other games that were around at the time. And this was before I played the Super Nintendo Legend of the Mystical Ninja game. And... for that, I kind of just was smitten by this. As the kind of thing that only in gaming could something like this kind of play quite this way. Although, fine, I guess I sort of am contradicting that way, but saying that, hey, there's an anime that's like this too, and other mediums, sure. There's something about this, it's why I love video games, a game like this. And I just love just the style of it. The great presentation, which really pushes what the Nintendo 64 is capable of pretty early into its life. And it is something that made me a fan of this franchise, even though, as I mentioned, of the 30 or so games that are based on this, we only got 5. And I don't have all 5 of them, because I don't have Mr. Goemon, and I don't have a reliable way yet to stream Mystical Ninja starring Goemon for the Game Boy, which I said last time was a remake of a game from 1991. I was wrong, so I want to correct that record. Because I was actually looking at a link Electverse provided last time, which was for the Gaijin Goomba look at that game, which is a great find from his case, to point that out. And that's why I love the link list when it comes to that, as far as what chat provides to us for the extra context for the show. But in that case, it really kind of gave me the information that I needed, and also put into some interesting perspective some of these things, like how is that game... Some of my thoughts of it when I first played it was not as good as this one, for sure. But something that made me a fan of the series, and I'd love to see you return to it. Konami, if you're listening, I would buy this. I think there are a lot of people who would love to buy this. I think maybe nowadays it might be an easier sell to people than even back in 1988 for this. Although, Legend of the Mystical Ninja on the Super Nintendo was pretty popular. It did pretty well, and even the Super Nintendo Classic Edition unit had that game on it. I did not know that, although it had it in Japan specific for that. So, I definitely think there's a great... entry of this franchise, that my exposure to it, my first exposure, going into 3D with a style that is its own. There's a lot of Zelda here, there's a lot of Super Mario 64, but in a lot of ways it becomes its own thing, and it is an infectious and unique game that is definitely one of the unsung heroes of the Nintendo 64. If you played The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask to death, and you want something else that's like it, track down a copy of this game. It is not going to be cheap for you, though, unfortunately. It's going to be about $80, $90, $100 if you're lucky, maybe $110, $20 if you're not. So could use a re-release. It's not the most expensive game in this console. I actually own the most expensive game on the console, which is Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, which will sell at some point. And like this game, actually, it does have vocalized songs to itself as far as its opening intro. So it's interesting seeing these two games kind of come out at the same time about as themselves. And yeah, there you go. You have the main theme as far as the game and the vocalized songs. But yeah, this is definitely a unique one, and it is one of the best games on the Nintendo 64 that tends not to get a lot of attention. But as I said, we always will give the attention to games like that on this system or any system as far as Super Old Game Saturday. I'm so glad I got to get back to this game and finish it. Just to finish my love of it and also to finish the showcase of this game and go 100%, which I've never done before. Alright, we got a little more of the show left. Not massive, but one thing we're going to see now that we got the credits done. And then after the Konami logo, we're going to see what's going on with the Silver Fortune dolls. We got those. There you go. You unlock consecutive fighting large boss mode on the options screen. And I don't know if this saves to the cartridge, but one thing I'm going to do, because I didn't get to actually show this as far as anything with this game yet. I mentioned this whole game, both the past two parts specifically. And you know what, fine, we'll have one more listen to the main theme. We'll go do that. We'll show that, and then I'll end on something else specific for it as far as in the game with music. Before we shut the show down. Yeah, I've never unlocked that. You get all those Silver Fortune dolls and Gold Fortune dolls, you unlock that. I don't know if that saves it to the cartridge, because the game doesn't have cartridge save to it. You need the controller pack for saving. But as I mentioned last two times for the last two parts, or the two parts of part one, let's put it that way, that this game has Rumble Pack support that the game does not advertise. But because they have a mode that, from what I've read, lets you do all the Goemon Impact boss battles, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to swap out. I usually don't like doing this. I'm always superstitious in anything because, as I mentioned, I've had controller packs that died on me, but I think that's because of the battery within them, not because, like, I took them out. Like, I never took the damn things out. Even for games that say, like, hey, swap them out. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose my save. Unfortunately, Nintendo 64 controllers do not have dual slots to them to put in a controller and rumble pack. And certain games, I can't circumvent that with another controller plugged in. And we're going to get to get in case we get Beetle Venture Racing running. But alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the control pack out. Hopefully this is not going to cause trouble. Okay, it didn't. Now I'm going to put in the rumble pack. Yeah, this game does not state it has rumble pack support anywhere, but the Goemon Impact sections have use of it, but only the first person fights. So yeah, when you're going on the roller skates, nothing happens. Every other part of the game, nothing happens. Even the point where, before I did part one, I believe, I read online, I said, oh, this has rumble pack support. I was like, it does? I said, they don't advertise it anywhere. I was like, let me look in the manual, look at the digital scan in the manual, nothing. Let me look somewhere else, nothing. I don't know how anybody found this out, but I said, okay, fine, I'm going to basically run through the game the first, like, 45 minutes about to get to that point where it is, and I confirmed, yeah, it does rumble, so we're going to show that, or try to anyway. So let's do consecutive fighting mode. In fact, I will put the rumble pack on the mic. Yeah, it is sort of rumbling, but alright, here's Kashiwagi again. In fact, I'm gonna let myself get hit or hit him with something. I basically have the controller against it, so... Oh, then again, it's not rumbling now. It rumbled when I had it going. Fine, you know what, I'll do this way. Okay, it's not working now. I was like, fine, it worked briefly. You sort of heard it, but whatever. Fine, let's kill him. So yeah, it's the same boss battle we had before. Hey, get back here. Okay, so I sort of had the rumble pack running. It just was not exactly what I wanted to show. But either way, Yeah, because I want to. I'm gonna show this mode off because I've actually never run this. And I guess I'll also try one other thing. I might as well, since hey, why not? When I'm done, I think I might turn the game off and see that. Okay, if I turn the game back on without the controller pack inside of it or inside the controller, does it save this? I don't know why it necessarily would, but either way, I got it, and it did take that save we had before. All right, and same deals before. The boss is the same, and there's only fine 4 files of this technically. All right, so this is unique as far as this, and I like that we're seeing this. Okay. All right, is he almost dead yet? Yeah, come on. Yeah, go up and let me kill you. Alright, there you go. Except that was not enough. Yeah, because the mouth laser will do tons of damage, but it's not going to be one to kill. Not usually. Actually, I think that's going to take him out like it did when we played this last month. Well, almost. You know, fine, let's add insult to injury. Let's hit him with the money. Alright, power money, I declare you dead. Alright, so fine. Okay, since I couldn't get the rumble pack going, I'm gonna do the other thing. I'll swap out the, I'll swap it in for the controller pack. Not that it matters, really, but I sort of showed the rumble pack working. There might have been some pickup on the mic. I did feel it a little bit at the beginning of the fight. But if it does react and it was working properly, not that mine isn't working. I do have the batteries still from when we played GoldenEye a couple months ago. It was working. It did kind of go a little bit, but then it just stopped rumbling. Which sometimes I guess happens from what I'm realizing. But, yeah, it does have roll pack support. I did indicate that. I did prove it. And I can say that, yeah, you know, I have the indication of it that way. Alright, so there's Samba 2, which is like we fought you about an hour and a half ago. As I said, I'll fight each of the bosses again to see what's different when you get to the end of this. And nothing else, it's a full look at this game, because as I said, that's what we promise on Super Old Game Saturday. When it comes to play of a game, we're going to play it the full way as much as we can. And that'll be it. Hello, Dolly Finn, so good to see you. We finished Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, but I completed it with 100% reward as far as getting all of the Silver Fortune dolls. So we're doing the specific Goemon Impact mode that they give you for getting them all, which I never got, actually, until tonight. So good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good week. And if you feel let your memories flow, if you have any on Mystical Ninja Story Goemon or any perspective on what you're seeing as I'm taking a look at this, great. Well, okay, I'm glad you're liking what you're seeing as we're fighting the merman guy, or the mermaid creature, with Goemon Impact again. And I also went into my stuff earlier with the Legend of Mystical Ninja anime. And oh, my punches are disabled. Oh, no, because he dragged me down. Okay, never mind. I was like, wait, well, hold on, what's going on? This is a new one to me. As I mentioned when we played this last month. Ow, shit. It's a game that unfortunately costs a lot of money. A sort of a lot of money. It's like $100, $110, $120. And it's one that Konami's not re-released at all. And it's in a franchise that there's 30 games in Japan, but 5 in the US, unfortunately. But by giving more attention to this, maybe there's going to be some perspective. Yeah, wow. Yeah, and we mentioned last time the Goemon Impact battles. Actually, yeah, I don't know if you remember seeing that, if you had that going. But yeah, you have the first-person perspective. Wow, it's expensive. Well, I mean, hey, it could be worse. It could be Fight Fighter Sculptor's Cut, which is like $1,000, but I actually own that game. That was a lucky case of me finding that. I think I've told this story before. I'll tell it again just because I'll try to get you set. Which is that I found a copy of that used for $11 in 2008 from Used Game Store. Alright, come on. I want to beat you. And now I'll tell the story again. Yeah, I should probably do it. True, as far as expensive element. Yeah, it's $1,000, but when I bought it, it was $11, so it ballooned in price. And that was a game that was a rental-only case where it was not actually sold in stores. So that would be part of the reason. But even some of the other rental games I have, rental-only games, don't cost much. I mean, even one of the Clay Fighter games on Super Nintendo, Clay Fighter Tournament Edition, that was a rental-only game too, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's like, I don't think it did last I checked. And then there was, well, okay, I have Indiana Jones the Infernal Machine on this system, which was a rental-only game on N64 only. It was on the PC, and they released it in stores. Although that game was released for sale by LucasArts specific at their website back in the day. Which might be where my copy came from, because it doesn't have that Property of Blockbuster logoing on the front, which they tend to put on their Nintendo 64 games. And I'm amazed the Clay Fighter Sculptors Cut I have is not a case like that. But yeah, this is an expensive one, but it's also one that is a unique perspective in itself, even as I said, we're in space. Oh, you hold your, you hold your oil, which is your health, by the way, for this, over this period. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, what I do need to do is make sure that I can survive this. Because this makes me wonder one thing, am I running on one health bar for this mode? I don't know, so, yeah, I might die at this. And I might run out of money first, or Rio as it is. Yeah, I did fight this boss a little while ago, not that little while ago, only like half hour or so ago, as it was. Yeah, I'm running out of money. If I can get rid of the bottom parts, if nothing else, we can be in good shape. I need to get more money. Alright, fine, I'm dead. Okay, I want to see what happens if I die then. Because, yeah, if you run out of oil, you die. Oh, okay, so you just, come back here and fight. Alright, fine. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Since I finished this game way earlier than I expected, I'm gonna try and run this specific and go through this mode. In the meantime, chat, Dolphin specifically, you can feel free to hit me anything you have as we fight Kashiwagi. I just want to see what happens if I beat this thing. Not that insanely hard, it's just that I need to be a little more careful. Because I didn't know you shared health, or that your health of 500 oil was held across battles. Yeah, basically just keep punching him and do what I did before. I guess hold my money. Because, like, yeah, there's no reason to not... There's no... Oh, no. Okay, that was my fault, because I used the chain pipe. Okay, so basically I want to conserve my, oil, specific as far as health, because you only have one life bar, I guess, for this. Yeah, just punch him in the face. Wait, no, yeah, I'm not letting him fly away. Because we saw this last month, and when he flies away, he'll cause trouble. Actually, technically, I mean, maybe spamming the punch that way. Or, get set that way. Okay, because when he's on the ground, I can just laser him. With the button combination, yeah, you need the manual to understand or look it up. Which, in the case of that one, it's you hit C up, C right, C left, or C up, C right, C down, C left, and the Z button. You have to have that bar in the middle filled. You don't need it for the super punch. So fine, spam the super punch. It does a lot of damage, and as long as you put the button combination in, which is C up, and the A button, you're good. Alright. And you do a little bit of damage. I guess I didn't mention this last month because we were going through this pretty much a mile a minute. And that was when you do the hook on the enemy, it does cause a little bit of damage, but not a whole lot. Okay, so fine. He's gone. And I guess we gotta keep watching this. But hey, if nothing else, it's also giving a little more of a meat to the show, because I didn't expect to be basically done with this game after about 2.5 so hours. Even for a, the finale of the game. Now, this isn't necessarily a long game, the way it's operating, but I was able to get everything done that I needed to get done with it a lot faster than I expected. Alright, fine, we'll try this, and yeah, I just shouldn't take damage here. That was my problem. just hold my money. But I like this. It's kind of like a boss rush mode. It's kind of like when we did the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game and they have the fighting mode that goes with it. Oh, this is like a little more of a challenge, like a boss rush, basically. Or it's up by the Goemon Impact boss rush. Because you don't fight the other bosses of the game doing this. Okay, yeah. The other thing you want to do with this one, I guess, to go back into this, is you just jump down this way. Yeah, pretty much just, hook him when he's jumping out of the water. Oh. Or try to hook him, but yeah, you have to hook him very specific. You have to get the timing down. Get that button combination, which now that C up, C down, C up, and A is just becoming kind of put in my mind. Like, yeah, if you ever played any game specifically, you kind of remember, like, hey, I remember one part of a game, and then just basically you'll never forget the part that, uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna take a hit this way, find it's 20. Yeah, I do want to hold my oil a little bit, especially because I'm gonna be limited on it. Yeah, fortunately, yeah, he's getting close. Oh no. Actually, I didn't show this when we fought him earlier, so I'm kind of glad I did now. Okay, no, we're good. Wait. Oh. Oh. Oh, I missed. Shit. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a little bit of concern because I'm at half of my oil. Oh no. Alright, as long as that hit, yeah, I got him. Okay. So that's good to start, but I have the last two, and that's 2 in a row. Oh, no, it's not the end. Okay, I thought I had him. Yeah, I think 2 of these ought to do it. I think. I hope. Okay, fine. I hooked him again. Okay. Yeah, enough? Okay, fine, that's enough. Yeah, may as well just make it simple. Just punch him in the face. Sometimes that's the easiest way to go. Right, we got him, but they got the next 2. And if I can't get this, probably this time, I think at that point I probably will stop the night, I think. I don't know. I'll see how far I can take this. And not also put an ad saying, like, what happens when you beat this thing. Alright, so back in space again. Alright, so I'm back with Bulbera again. I do have enough money to start. Like, just do what I did when I was playing it. Shoot, shoot, shoot. You hit the Z button, by the way, to shoot that out. But yeah, I don't have much Rio. But I can still recover it, so honestly, it doesn't matter. Okay, fine, you know, maybe I don't have to. I can just do that way. Oh, fine, hit it with the hook. Because, yeah, you don't have to necessarily hit the, hit it with the money, or the Rio, as it's called. You can get him to open the mouth again, or open his cord this way. I can shoot him. I think I do have enough Rio to just keep shooting. Alright, fine. Just take him down. I guess I got lucky with him opening the hatch that way before, but not completely. Okay, yeah, I just ran out. Perfect. Alright, where is... Oh. Ooh, I would say, sometimes you can be right on the edge with that laser hitting there. Okay, so I'm at 160. That's not bad, but I don't like the fact that I'm there. That seems like it's a little nerve-wracking. Ow. Okay, that part's done, but I need to see about the last boss. Okay, that part's down. I have 100 oil left. I have some money. Actually, the fact that I have as much money as I have is probably a good thing. So as long as I stall on him the way I did last time, and I'm quick on the draw on the... Oh! Wait, they count as only one? Oh, fine. Maybe they count the next one as separate. Okay. Because in the main story, what happens is you beat that and you go right into the next one. But I guess we have the next one now? Okay, fine. That's weird. Alright, so here's Dead Toil. Alright, let's see about this. This is the last one. No, I probably don't want to do that. Guess I'm already at a 30 point. That's not good. Yeah, if I don't have him punching right away there, that's not going to be good either. Crap. Alright, fine, I lost. Yeah, I don't know if I could do this on one life bar. Not that it's insanely hard, but just because I'm so limited on oil and I can't refill myself. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, you know what, fine, I'm gonna test one other thing. I want to see something. I want to set the game, I want to see something here. Does it save it on the options menu? Yes, it does. In fact, I'm going to try one other thing. Taking the controller pack out. I want to see something. That was intended. I did that on purpose. I turned the console off because I knew it wouldn't feed cut. Yeah, it's not going to be the case maybe in a couple weeks when it comes to those Freddy Fish games. I'm getting nervous about that based on how the PC is going to be handling full screen cases. Okay, so it is tied to your controller pack. Okay. Alright, so it is tied to your controller pack save, I guess. I think it is, let's see. Okay, so alright, fine. If you have a save for your controller pack that is with the 20 silver fortune dollars, is right here, or right there. There you go, you got it. Okay, perfect. Alright, so I can do stuff with that, I guess. You know, fine. I don't necessarily want to give up on that. We'll try one more time. If I can't do it after this time, then they'll be in the show. Fine, let's give it another run. Okay, so you do need your controller pack still for this. It made sense to that, because I said, okay, you need the controller pack to save everything else in this game. Why not this? But alright, fine. Let's try it once again. I got close. Just to see if you unlock anything. And if not, I'll put an edit down here saying what you unlock. Oh, no! And you know what, I kind of want to reset this again. Yeah, sorry if it's a weird case of me doing this, and seeing that weird artifact when the reset happens. I kind of want to start this fresh, make sure we're set. One last run, and then that'll be the end of the game. Or the end of the show as well. Yeah, because we are doing Friday program this week, just to indicate that. Though we won't have another Friday program for, let's see. I know, 3 weeks is going to be our next Friday program. I'll get that schedule at the end. Alright, it's fine. What I'm gonna do is... Okay, fine. I still took one hit. Yeah, because here's the thing. I think I want to try and avoid taking hits as much as I can on... on the bosses that are easier, so I'll have enough running on the last couple. Yes. Okay, so that's a good idea. Come on. Okay, so we'll see what we can do on this, and then we'll get into, you know, schedule and all that stuff. Because, yeah, I've had a good time playing this game, going through the rest of it as well. And also going into the Mystical Ninja, the Legend of the Mystical Ninja anime that I binge-watched, actually, over the past month specific. Because as we mentioned last time, there's some interesting things about that. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad, because I've had the DVDs forever. I mentioned that I've had them for like almost 15 years now. Yeah, almost 15 years. Oh yeah, right. If you have a specific combination, you can do a kick like that. Okay, so Goemon Impact does have the kick element going, so at least I get to show that. But yeah, I watched that anime. I really liked it. I really got into it as far as what it was, and also getting a bit more of a perspective on this Enterprise, and in the hope that we can get more games based on this, more games based on released over here. We only had 5 of them, and this is the first one I played. And I played the next one. As far as you talk about expensive games on N64, that one is a little more than this. It's like $150. Fine, it's fine. I'll tell you, it's to this system what Shadow Hearts is for the PlayStation 2, in the sense that it's a game that shaped my youth more, or my growth as far as a youth, as far as some of my cultural understandings, maybe more than I realized at the time. So kind of the same way Crusader 64 was with that game. And like that game, is I stupidly let myself get hit. Yeah, it's one that unfortunately is not a cheap one anymore. But it's one that, yeah, maybe we can get re-releases or remakes, potentially. And I've been on a roll with a bunch of those, so maybe they can go back to this franchise. Also, I want to see something. Fine. If it doesn't hold my, it holds my Rio and my health, I basically just hit him in the groin. I want to see if it holds my energy bar across these battles. Because that's true, then I can use the mouth laser. Because you have to have that energy bar in the middle, the one when it's flashing that way, charged up in order to use that attack. That's the only attack you have to, you have that requirement. So I want to see that just to be sure. Yeah, but I had a great time binging that anime just to go into it. It was a short run, specific, but it's also something that kind of rekindled my fascination as far as anime is concerned, and as I said, it's also, I guess, previewed what I'm going to be doing next month when Ted Lasso comes back on March 15th. But I'll have to figure when I'm going to be able to do that specifically, because Season 3 is coming out then. I mean, hey, fitting, I mentioned the last part, we'll mention this part too. Alright, so fine, here's Thai Samba to you once more. Okay, no, it doesn't. Okay, so my Rio holds, my health holds, but my energy bar doesn't. But the thing about the energy in this game is you can recover it really quick. So it's not going to be that much of a concern. Oh no, fine, I'm gonna take a hit because of that. Yeah, sometimes when I hook onto the enemy, it's like, wait, you're shooting something else, and then you're kind of open. Yeah, if you also hit him right away, you can also pull him in. Yeah, fine, this is a cheap tactic. It was like, fine. No one necessarily said that Goemon Impact was not, you know... Well, fine, Goemon Impact is efficient as far as a fighter, as far as how the anime does it, and also how these games tend to do it. Yeah, the good news, yeah, when they're down the ground, the lasers still hit them. So that's something I learned just as far as my practice. And nothing else, it also goes to that over-the-top anime style that this whole franchise is all about. But it's especially just so appealing as far as how this game is doing it. And especially for games like this at the time, I didn't really see much on N64 that was doing this. That should probably take him out. Yeah, okay, so 340, that's better. Just can I hold it for the next battle? Alright, so yeah, that looks so familiar. It's like I've done that 4 times now. Not counting, and even including the time we first saw him tonight. Yeah, it's still not getting old as far as the, you know, yeah. Do I have an impact is saying, like on the anime, saying, Justice scores a happy ending. Let's see if we can do it in space again. Alright, so once more Bulbera. Fine, I'll shoot the core of that thing first, because if nothing else, I can at least destroy that. And you can do damage with the Rio, but it's not going to be much ever. Okay, come on. It's also weird to rapidly tap the Z button, because I don't know if I've actually indicated this specifically as far as the N64 controller, but the Z button's the trigger on the back of it, so yeah, good luck doing taps on that. Oh, in that case, I have to be ready to attack before I can hit him. Alright. Okay, I'm running a little low, but not awful. Alright, that I can shoot. I'll have enough to manage what I need to manage. It's just that I'm gonna be... Okay, yeah, I have 5 left. Okay, I'm gonna miss it, shit. Oh, okay, well I got something. I didn't know I could get money doing the laser for something. Yeah, that's more interesting to know. Okay, fortunately I don't have enough juice to hit it with that. Alright, so I have to use the pipe to hit him that way, which is easier, just takes longer, and it doesn't do as much damage. We're doing okay so far. It's gonna miss again. Oh, no, it's not gonna miss again. Thank God. Yeah, because when you're in that charge state, you can't move the reticle, so you're pretty much at the mercy of making sure that you time when the laser's gonna go off. I think I can hit him one more time with that. Okay, actually, I could probably hit him with the damn money now. I have so much, I may as well just use it. Yeah, fine. Screw it. We're just using the money. Okay, I have more health going into this. So, good sign. But yeah, I gotta be really on my game for this next part. Yeah, I do like the sight there as far as actually seeing the Goemon Impact reaction to beating this part of it. Like, yeah, he's just sniffing in the fumes. Fortunately, the fumes are not giving me extra energy. Alright, fine. Let's see what we can do with you. Very good. I got lucky hitting him twice. Maybe I should just be cheap and try and pull him in, or time when I can grab him. Okay, except he puts the shield up. Come here. Oh, fine, I'll go like the Scorpion thing of, get over here! Especially since they just announced Mortal Kombat 12. Now, we don't know much, but they just announced that, hey, it's coming. You like Mortal Kombat, so more of that is going to be a nice thing. Especially because the last couple have been so damn good. Okay, I didn't get to show this, actually, when we did our fight of this official. He has... Oh, shit. Yeah, except I took a lot of damage doing that. Oh, damn it. Yeah, fortunately, I might die still to this shit. No. Oh, crap, I'm dead. Alright, fortunately, yeah, he does do a lot of damage still with that. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on one heart, or one life bar like this, I'm sorry. I'll look into this. I know there's some bonus you get. I know that for sure. And I believe also, as you play the game, you can also unlock all the music, which you've been unlocking the music. I'll tell you what we're going to do, though. I'm going to go to... Fine, you know what? Since that's hard. Yeah, I mean, it's not the hardest of the boss rushes in games on this system. Actually, the hardest, surprisingly, is a game we played about a year and a half ago now. Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. The boss battle mode on that, you run on one life bar, of which there's 6 items. There's nowhere to recover either. And in that case, it's... That was, I think, like 7 or 8 bosses you had to fight. And talk about the game rubbing in your face when you get a failure on that. It says on the screen it's hopeless. And that's supposed to be this cute, cuddly game as far as Kirby the Cream Puff, who has a new game out this week, which is, today actually, which is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which is a remake of the game on the Wii. And this is the definitive version. So yeah, if you don't have that game, that's what I'll pick up on the Switch you're going to want to have. Okay, fine. What we're going to do is open the file that I had for, when I first started this game back in 2020. But I said, okay, fine, I didn't, you know, I let this game sit too long. Because I think we're going to end, I know we're going to end. We're going to end on the great music of Kai Highway. If you've ever seen any videos on YouTube that go into elements of classic gaming, they pulled this out at one point or another. Whether it's been a Let's Play of this game, like Clement 64's, which I first mentioned last time we played this last month. Yeah, but just that great, you know, perspective, the showtime. There's the horns, and then you are on the field there, and then you have the Japanese instruments going on that way. And there you go. Okay, so, yeah, I wasn't able to beat that, but yeah, I did give him a damnedest, and I guess not too awful for my first time doing that, because, yeah, I've never unlocked it before. So, yeah, that you get for its 100% completion reward. Down here will be what happens when you get that completed. And you know what, I was to say, that enemy's not going to come into my shot yet, I don't think. At least I hope not. Oh, no, I don't want to get that close. Alright, so that is Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. I had a blast playing this game. I know it took a while to get to the point of ending the game for me starting it back in 2020. And then restarting last month, and now finishing it tonight. But I did finish it. I'm glad to have finished it, only because I'm glad to have given this game all of the love that it deserves, because this is an underrated one for Nintendo 64. If you're thinking it's one of the best games in this system, they may be missed out on. Unfortunately, some of them cost a lot of money, like this one. I'd say games like this, games like Mischief Makers, the Snowboard Kids games, which are also ones that are semi-pricey. We'll show those off. I know Nocturne called dibs on the second of those Snowboard Kids games specific, and many others, because I got a box of Nintendo 64 games we can go through. I got a lot to work with. Not to mention, as I said, the most expensive game on this console, which is Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, which, for a period, it wasn't. Despite the rental-only case of that game, Harvest Moon 64 was the most expensive game I had for a while, even when I had Sculptor's Cut, and Sculptor's Cut just went up and up and up and up out of nowhere. And I get it, and also because of some of the things we're going to have to deal with as far as its racial elements of that game, there's no way in hell that game ever gets really released ever again. I guarantee that. So, that might... I don't know if that's the reason why it's become super expensive, but also it was a limited release anyway for copies, so I mean, fine, they're never going to re-release it, so that's going to be one thing, unless you emulate it. But outside of that, there weren't many, so that might be part of it too. We sometimes wonder that. Why do games become rare? Or expensive? Or for that matter, are expensive games even rare? I mean, for a while there, games on the system like Super Mario 64 are like $50, $60 as far as used copies. Not when it came out. When it came out, it was like 50, 60, sure. But I think a couple years ago, I saw like a $50 game and said, why? The game, there were a lot of copies made, but people want it. And I think maybe that has something to do with it too. I guess people want this game, they want some of the other games in this series. And it's one of those things that, people who played this game, you just mention them and they go, oh yeah. They know exactly what you're talking about. Life versus a case like that. So I played it briefly as far as it went, or fine, he grew up playing a little bit, and Chasm22, who loves this game for that specific. And yeah, it is a really good one, and I guess me on my hands and knees to Konami as far as Return of Ganbare Goemon, which is part of the franchise. This is a great one. And it's not even as far as expensive elements on this system, it's not insane. So yeah, if you have some scratch saved up specifically, this might be one to go for. It's got these issues with camera and collision detection and things like that, but that being said, there's nothing quite like it on this system. Even the games that play like it still carved out its own niche and its own identity. I mean, yeah, it has Zelda very heavily as far as some of its inspirations and platforms like Super Mario 64, but yeah, there's nothing else like this on the system. Even the next game that's on this system, which is Goemon's Great Adventure for the Nintendo 64. I guess then, when we come back to the Ganbare Goemon franchise, Kat, your choice, I guess, on this one. Because of the ones I can show, I have all 5 games of this franchise that came out in the US, which are Mystical Ninja starring Goemon for the Game Boy, which I have on the 3DS, but I don't have a way to stream 3DS as of now, or as of this recording. There's Mr. Goemon, which is the first one. There was an arcade game that got a re-release on PlayStation 4 and Switch. I'd buy the Switch version, where it's $8. It's $8 on PS4 as well. There's this game. There's Legend of the Mystical Ninja on the Super Nintendo, which I have on the Wii U Virtual Console. That'd be a great one for them to re-release as far as an idea. And then Goemon's Great Adventure, which is a 2D Goemon game that came out after this by about a year and a half. So yeah, it's your choice as far as I guess we play. It could be Mr. Goemon or Legend of the Mystical Ninja on Super Nintendo or Goemon's Great Adventure. Stick with Nintendo 64 specific for that. Oh, actually, if I do Goemon's Great Adventure, that does have a 2-player cooperative mode to it. So I might try and see if somebody would want to do that one specifically with me. Assuming anybody I know has played it, because even as far as games in this system that are on the outskirts, I don't know if I know anybody who's actually played that one. There's other games on this system like this that I know they've played. Other expensive ones, or other ones that are not the common games you talk about on the system usually. But that one, not so much, but I think it would be worth showing off that way. But it's also one I have not actually beaten that game. I bought it when I found it for not much money. I didn't get it for $150, which that game costs now. I found it for about $20, $30. Man, those were the days when you could find something that cheap as far as it. But I did, and at that point, I was like, I never saw this game around. Let me get this, and I'm glad I did. But I'm glad I got this one when actually I think was in 2006. I paid, I think, $30, $40 for this, which is not that much anymore, but even as far as the price it's worth, or that's cost now, it's worth that. Again, if you can afford it, but I mean, that's what the idea of a re-release is for, and hopefully they'll get to that point. Alright, so I think with that, yeah, we're gonna end Super Bowl Game Saturday for Friday a little earlier than I expected. I didn't expect to go the full 5 hours on this part, but basically it's until we finish it. At this point, we got a good perspective of what we have on this. Thank you so much, chat, for joining. Dollyfin, thank you for joining on for this one as well. Let's talk schedule then, because since we have a Friday show tonight, that's a specific Super Bowl Game Saturday Friday show, as opposed to last week where we had the Game Dev Tycoon preview, which, because this play was a little shorter, I will upload that this week as well. When I do the edit on this part, I will also upload and edit that one, or edit and upload that one as a bit of a bonus before we play that game in about a month. Thank you. You're welcome, Dollyfin, for sure, and thank you for joining on the show and giving the input that you give to the show, which is always wonderful input when you've been in the chat and also on the games that we've been involved with as far as playing. I love the hair color of VI. The green works for her, definitely, that's for sure. And that's something about her that is unique, and just the idea of, fine, let's go to the character roll call. There is a Goemon, he has the blue hair, they said it looks like an upside down pineapple. There's a Misamaru who doesn't really have hair underneath the mask of his, or the headdress of him. And there's Sasuke, who is the robot ninja. It does that too. And then also Sasuke, which is kind of more spiky that way, as far as his, but he's a robot. And actually, you know what? Fine. Also let his idle animation go, because fine, I showed Ibisamaru's, which is eating food. I showed at the beginning of the show, I showed Goemon's, which is when he is what's he doing? Goemon eats dumplings. The colors are vivid. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing about this game. This is a game that it definitely kind of pops off the screen. I mean, the idea that Sasuke, even though he's a robot, yeah, he's having a nice sake or a nice tea or something specifically. Just enjoying that. And the character animations, as far as the facial expressions, even on them for something like this, on a model as he's falling asleep. It is nice, and that's the other thing, I guess, about the Goemon franchise. In fact, we can go into this as well. Just at the end of this. For that is he is just on the floor. I want to see something. Okay, so he just fell asleep that way. This game does have a great look to itself, even with it being a little more antiquated now after 25 years. But you've mentioned this stuff, and honestly, you've been kind of you've kind of spearheaded this, or kind of were the inspiration of the show, looking at color that way. The idea of, hey, look at this. Even if you haven't played this game, you said you haven't played this one. Even just looking at that, saying that, hey, this looks like an intriguing Japanese world from the art direction of it. And especially when you go to older games, like especially early 3D games like this, sometimes the question of, hey, the models might not be the most amazing things anymore, but then the art direction kind of carry that, or the facial expressions on the characters, the idea that, hey, he was kind of closing his eyes specifically for something, but you know what, fine, let's wake him up. Or opening his eyes. You know what, fine, I don't think I necessarily showed Ibisamaru specific. Just the idea that, hey, there's a lot of, not just the color, I mean, the color for sure, but there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of thought and a lot of care that was put into this game, and that's something that is really unique, and you do really like to see that. And I guess maybe the reason why, after 25 years coming up in April, I'm still holding on to this game, and I'm still appreciating it so much, as, you know, he's sitting down, having a nice deserved rest after the great stuff. It looks it. It does, and that's same also with Goemon's Great Adventure, and visually speaking, it's not dissimilar to this. It does have or it does have 3D model elements, even though it's a 2.5D platforming game. It kind of plays like Kirby Crystal Shards a little bit in the sense that it has areas that are turning curves when you're going left and right, down them, and then also like Klonoa, Door to Phantom Isle, which is a game that I want to figure when I can show that, because that's another one. You want to talk about colors, Dolly Finn, just beautiful artistry, and a game that is absolute work of art. Klonoa, Door to Phantom Isle for the PlayStation, which is a game that costs more than this. That's like a $400 game on the PlayStation, but they've re-released it twice. They remade it on the Wii, where it cost, I think, $40, $50. Then they remade it again, or they up-res the Wii version into the Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series, which came out last year, and also had its sequel, Klonoa 2 Lunate's Veil, which was on PlayStation 2 initially. And, fine, that's a Namco franchise. This is a Konami franchise. I'm like, wait, there's that Konami as well, but no, it's not. But the idea of just how far art direction can take you in terms of drawing you into a world, and also making you look at something that's like, hey, I don't necessarily know what this game is. Not even just you, Dolly Finn, because I've been noticing that with Shadow Hearts. The look of Shadow Hearts is something that, just on the base of what that world is looking like, what we've seen in that game so far, I'm saying, like, yeah, that's another one that, like this game, it's $150 about. Oh, fine, that's $150 constant. This is around that, less usually a little bit. But getting there, at least. Saying that, yeah, I would want to drop my money to play that. Like, I want to play that specific. And that's kind of what a great game like that can do, you know? Even at a cost like that, he's like, yeah, you know what, I would want to get to that case. And Dolly Finn, in your case, I know you mentioned, at some point, speaking of a cost thing, I know you said you wanted to see, Dragon Ball Advance Adventure on the Game Boy Advance. I'm definitely going to invest in that. And there's a couple games I know I've been asked for stuff like that to invest. I will invest for that because I think it's worth showing. And good as far as the Japanese milieu and anime perspective. Yes, thank you. No problem. I will definitely look into figuring that one as far as how it is. And like, hey, get our Dragon Ball representation running on the show. And also the anime perspective of, hey, that train's not going to stop because we've got tons of elements of that going in. As we mentioned tonight with the Mystical Ninja anime, as far as this game that has an anime style to it and other stuff we've seen so far. But yeah, of course, that's the other thing, because remember, we take the viewer requests. I said, I take every viewer request seriously, because that's the other thing. Even if a game costs money, I can always say, like, you know, hey, I'm investing in it for the show, in a weird way. And hey, since this is also a totally independent show, it's not the case of I'm getting paid to do this. I basically have a job and I pay for the element of running the show for stuff like that. People want to come into the show and say, like, I want to see something. I say, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. In fact, actually, Dolly Finn, if you want to, it's also your choice. if you want to call dibs to that game and come in when we play it. It's your pick, but that'll be a ways down the road, but I'll figure when we can do that, because I said I know I have some view requests that I've gotten. Yes, you would like that. Okay, awesome. For sure. Because I know there's a couple of quests I know you've made, along with other people. I know you made... I do have this. I don't know if I explicitly indicated this. I'd love it. No, sure. Okay, no problem. Then there you go. It's set. We'll figure when we can... I'll figure and understand that, and we can get the schedule going. Also, I know another game I did buy this last year. I've got to figure when we're going to do this. I bought Krusty's Funhouse for NES. I know you said you wanted to see that. So yeah, I did keep the master list going for the purpose of that. So at some point we'll play that. I'll figure when we're going to do that as well. But as I said, I have the log as far as what we're going. Nothing that's on that list is going to be ignored, I promise. Even if it takes some time, I'll figure what the schedule is going to look like. I appreciate it. No problem. I said, I will figure what I can do about that. But I guess going into that, while Ibisamara is having a little bit of his rest, fine, wake up. Fine, okay, I'm hitting the C right button. Yeah, get up that way. Fine, fine, we'll end with Goemon. He's gonna look a little annoyed, but at the same time, he also has a nice animation. But alright, yeah, sure, no problem. I kind of love doing it. I thought that as well. It's like, hey, we do a review request at least once a month. So, for some of the later months we've gotten this year, because we have a lot of long-form games running, as far as how it is. So I know one of those weeks is basically going to be a viewer request at some point, so I'm trying to figure out what can we do, how much practice do I need to be in a decent shape with it, and then obtaining copies for some of these things I don't have. So yeah, for sure, I'll definitely figure those things out. But alright, there's Goemon. He is looking a little annoyed, but he is still, the mystical ninja for sure. He does have his style. He does love his good and is a despiser of evil. He brings out his pipe that way. He's like, yeah, you go. Okay, so with that, with the book closed on Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, we'll come back to the series either with Goemon's Great Adventure on Nintendo 64, or if I can't find someone right away or when we get to a point of that would want to jump in with this as far as call dibs that way, we'll do Legend of Mystical Ninja on the Super Nintendo. One of those two. And we'll figure as far as the other one, maybe by then Konami will release more of them. Alright, fine. With that, let's talk schedule. Since we are doing a Friday show tonight as far as the official show, we will not have a Saturday show tomorrow. So yeah, nothing at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for tomorrow's show, but Dolly Finch, you said you jumped onto this a little later. The rest of the show will be up on Twitch as soon as I hit that stop stream button, but within the week I will also edit it so it'll be a little more clean as far as stuff, references to all the weird stuff that comes up or other stuff we've mentioned will be there that way. And also the Game Dev Tycoon practice run that we did last week about this time with Protorova. Great. Well, I'm glad you're looking forward to that stuff. But he said, I'm actually going to upload both of those this week because it's not going to be as long of a edit because it's only going to be 3.5 hours about. But yeah, so no show tomorrow night as far as Saturday. We do have stuff on the YouTube site still. There's still going to be stuff hanging around from this past week. I worked late tonight. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, hey, if you have to do stuff for your life, don't think that, oh, the show is more important than your life. No, it's not. I understand that. The show will always be there, though, for sure. And that's the whole reason. That's why I archive these. That's why I do the edits to them. That's why I do this. That's why I take the requests. Like, hey, if you didn't get to see a game you want to see, perhaps, or we've done something already, it's like, hey, I wish I had seen that months before it came into the show, we'll have them that way, so I'll make sure. Don't worry about it. I appreciate that. I mean, hey, you make a choice to come into the show when you could be doing or watching anything else. I appreciate it. It's the least I could do. And same also with the review requests that do for you and everybody else who comes in the show. Hey, this is a growing show as it's been because I have the next 4 months about already mapped out. So let's talk about that. So next show is next Saturday, March 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Going back to Shadow Hearts again. A little quick as far as the return to that, but that's how the schedule for the Chainrun 64 is working. We'll be part 6 after some big story stuff that happened last time. And Dolly Finn, I know you saw a good amount of that show, but there was other parts of it you needed to watch later. There are some big story reveals. The YouTube upload of that one in particular. That was a great edit I had doing that. But after all the story stuff we had last time, we're going to take a little bit of a break this time. Before we go to the float in April, which is going to be our last destination, we got a bunch of side quests to go through, and they're going to give some story backing for sure. So definitely going to be in a little bit of an element to that, as well as going full 100% on that game the way we did mostly, except we not beating the boss battle mode of Mystical Ninja starring Goemon here. Yeah, that'll be next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The week after that will also be a Saturday program. That will be actually every show in March, because we're in March next week. I cannot believe we're already there. But yeah, March every week is having a guest. So Shader 64 for the first week for Shadow Hearts Part 6, which is actually going to be officially the longest play we've had on the show so far as the long-form stuff. The week after that is going to be Medics coming in for the finale, I promise this time, of Parasite Eve. Because last time we played it, I underestimated how much we had on the Chrysler building left. We went through 40 floors of that. We were at floor 50. We have 27 floors left to go, and we have the final boss. We will be able to finish that within a 5-hour period at least. So yeah, we got more map writing I'm going to have to do. More discussion we're going to go. We're going to take Iabrea up that Chrysler building. We're going to see what's up there. We're going to get the canonical ending for that game and finish the other RPG we have running. So we have 2 RPGs running concurrently, but that's going to be March 11th. The next Friday show is going to be in 3 weeks. So, on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, Nikki is going to be coming back in, as is Edwack. She's going to be leading us through Freddy Fish, Case of the Missing Kelp Seeds, and Freddy Fish, Case of the Haunted Schoolhouse for the PC. It's our first PC game. Fine, first game being played on the PC for the show. One thing I'm going to indicate, though, and I'll talk to her about this, is that since it's going to be our first case of PC streaming for this program, I've been doing some tech looks as far as how is it going to operate. I realize I've always talked about feed cut concerns on this program. Like, hey, I turned off the console and reset it for this game a couple times. It doesn't do anything because of the tech I have with the RetroTink 5X. Gotta love that thing. Perhaps the best $300 I ever spent as far as this show. It's worth every penny. But whenever you go into full screen with a lot of stuff on the PC, I'm realizing that the resolution changes and it does a feed cut. So I'm gonna actually buy the 2 games that she's playing, because they're on Steam, they're like $7 each. I want to do some tests on that. I also might do, depending on how that is, I might have a case where I'll stop the stream briefly for that night, and then I'll restart it within about less than 5 minutes, maybe. I will figure that. I will have updates to that over the next couple weeks, but either way, we're going to do that. We're making that game happen. We're making those games happen because we're opening the floodgates for the PC, because I said we're going to do PC. Took me a while to figure it out, and even now I have some other challenges to figure out looking at, but we're going to make it happen. Like, hey, she wanted to see it. She wanted to lead us to those games. She has experience with those point-click games of humongous entertainments, and she's going to show us all the love she has for them, just like I did with this game. Like Crusader 64 is doing with Shadow Hearts, and like Max is doing with Parasite Eve. Then at the end of the month, we have a little bit of a different case. I mentioned we did the practice on this game last week, and I'll upload it this week as far as the YouTube site is concerned. Protorova and Bloodspice Moon are going to be joining me for Game Dev Tycoon. That's going to be the Switch version. It's also on the PC, but we're playing the Switch release. That's going to be March 25th on Saturday. That is not going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing that in the afternoon. Doing that on that week, or that day, which is going to be March 25th. We're doing that at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's how their schedules are going to work. They will not be able to do a later show. Well, fine. As far as how that's operating with that, they were not going to be able to start that way. Let's put it that way. So I said, okay, fine. If we have to adjust schedule around for that, we'll do it. And we're doing it. So, and I appreciate them coming in. I appreciate the stuff we had with practice with that game. Actually, Protorova called in specifically via phone as far as that. So the voice frame will sound a little crusty, but I was able to make it work. We make things work the way we have to make them work on this show, to make it as natural as we could as far as how that was working from the distance we were at for this. But yeah, him and Bloodspice Moon, who's making her debut on the program, be in the same room going through that. You're not going to miss that one. That is a unique one, for sure. And then we get into April, where April 1st is the Pokemon Violet showcase without any of its patches running. That's going to be a blind play. I've not played it yet. I haven't even opened my copy. I'll open it live on the show. I'll put it on. I have my online of my Switch turned off. We will see what's going on as far as the bugs and glitches that they're apparently fixing next week. And we're going to have the Pokemon Day stream going into announcements of stuff. Probably it's downloadable content maybe coming down the road. Yeah, we'll have that. I'll see what's going to go on with that. And then at that point, I'll have dealt with the case that, yeah, they released this broken game that they shouldn't have released broken. Even with the patch notes they're putting out, I'm saying, like, these are some severe things. They're looking and said that, yeah, this is okay to release. I'm like, no. I've gotten into arguments with people saying that you should just start accepting the modern elements of gaming, but I'm sorry, I'm not accepting that. And honestly, looking at something like that, hearing the uproar about Tales of Symphonia Remastered and Bandai Namco putting out a public apology saying that, fine, we're going to fix that, it's only proving my point. Just because it's modern gaming doesn't mean you should be releasing a game that doesn't work. I'm sorry. But that's going to be a great lineup, so you say thank you, and our lineup's not done because the week after that, Nocturne's coming back in the show. For real, she'll be in studio on the show, I promise, on this one, because she's going to be playing and starting Mega Man Legends 2 for the PlayStation for us. And the week after that is the Crusader 64 with the finale of Shadow Hearts. Then on April 22nd, Proto-Revel once more with the next RPG, which is going to be Lunar Silver Star Story Complete for the PlayStation. That might be a 3 p.m. show as well. These are all going to be Saturdays, by the way, for April, just to indicate this. And April 29th is the 25th anniversary celebration of Tekken 3 for the PlayStation. Well, I first wanted to see that. That is the viewer request for the month, or find one of 3, technically. So actually, we have like 3 in April. But if you wanted to see that, we're going to have our first full fighting game as a full show, because we've had stuff with showcase programs and compilation shows, but nothing full yet with fighting games. That's going to be the one. Oh my god, I feel old. I did too when I realized that, and I also realized, hey, he wanted to see Tekken 3 as the first one. I realized, hey, it fits with the Saturday. Perfect. So, yeah, we're going to have that element going into, element of, I mentioned Namco before. Yeah, Namco with that fighting case of them, the King of the Iron Fist tournament. And it definitely is a good one for it, and it seems one of the best fighting games on the PlayStation. So I give it that love for sure. I got unlocks to do, but I have already started, and it's going okay so far. And I got time to do it, because actually a lot of these games I'm not going to be playing until, Game Dev Tycoon and, then Tekken 3. So actually, honestly, I'm not playing most of the games coming up, or stuff I can't really practice, because I can't practice Pokemon, because I haven't opened it, and then Parasite Eve, we're basically at the end, so not much practice there either. And in May, we will have the next parts of Mega Man Legends 2 and Lunar at dates to be determined. I think they're going to be split across 2 weeks. I think Nocturne the first week, and then Proto-Revel the third week, as far as those two. The week in between is going to be, I'll confirm this with Casual 22. I'll probably have the answer to this actually when I do the edit for this week. He's going to be coming in as well. We're going to be playing Guardian Heroes for the Sega Saturn. That's going to be in May. It's going to be his debut on the program. He's been in the chat for stuff like first part of this game and the Shadow Hearts parts and other stuff. But yeah, he's coming in. He has a lot of love of that game. He has it on the Sega Saturn. We're playing on the Saturn. I'm actually going to work with him to make sure that his Saturn is in tip-top shape so we can start practicing. Because, like, yeah, I'm not going to let anybody get into a case where they're not going to be able to be practicing for the show going forward. After stuff that happened with elements of GoldenEye and Sonic Mania, just to go into that without being, specific or judgmental, I'm not. Those were eye-openers for me. I said, I'm not going to make that be a case. They're like, no, there's not going to be preparation. But that'll be coming that way. And then at the end of May, speaking of Namco again, we promised Namco Night. We're going back to, actually, a little over 2 years ago now. We did Final Fight and Magic, so we said, we got to have a Namco Night. Chat wanted to see it. We're having it. We're going to be playing Namco Museum Virtual Arcade for the Xbox 360. We got tons of classic Namco arcade goodness and not so goodness. We have Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Metro Cross, Mappy, Pole Position, Sky Kid. Tons of them, even some ones that I'm not super familiar with, and of course the Tower Duraga, which has become legendary around these parts for maybe the wrong reasons, but all the stories of that will be told. All the other games, that is going to be Memorial Day weekend, and I cannot wait for that. And then in June we'll have more on Lunar and Mega Man Legends, and we'll see. I still have to talk with Crusader 64 and Surrender and telling you this. We'll maybe start in Super Mario Sunshine then. We're going to be starting this summer, because Bricks Agree want to see that. And I'll figure something for the viewer request, or another viewer request event, Empty Week, and then Bottom of the World on July 4th. So that is our full lineup. Thank you so much for putting up with that element, and I guess for the encouragement saying, like, hey, you like what you're seeing, and hey, also, we're getting the games you want to see. That's the other thing. I always promise that. I say, keep those requests coming, we'll get to them. That's not just a console wars thing, and I find they say that all the time, but I mean it in my way for the different element of how our show operates, for sure. But yeah, consider my thanks for making the show continue to go strong for, approaching 3 years in July. I guess fully, you're going to look at it for like 2 or so years, but yeah, we're not stopping on this program. Even though, like, Goemon was saying, like, yeah, get on with it, man, you're running late. Yeah, I know. But either way, thank you so much for watching SuperOldGameSaturday. Thank you for coming in for our play of Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Have a wonderful rest of your night, a wonderful rest of your weekend, and a great week coming forward for next week. I'll see you next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Crusader 64 for Part 6 of Shadow Hearts for the PlayStation 2. Thank you, it was fun. Likewise, Dolphin, thank you so much for coming in. We'll figure out Dragon Ball Adventure and Krusty's Funhouse and on the other games you want to have. And Strange Horticulture. I know that's one that I think you're called dibs on, and I think I might have a way to figure that one. But I'll announce that as we go along later in the year. Fantastic. Well, thank you, and thank you for making the show fantastic. And it's all of you who do that, for sure, and I appreciate that so much. I always say it every week, but thank you so much. All right, so yeah, I'll see you next Saturday for Part 6 Shadow Hearts with Crusader 64. Have a wonderful night, Dollyfin, and everybody out there in chat, YouTube, Twitch, and anywhere land you are watching this. Thank you so much for everything. Have a wonderful night. See you next week. Take care.